This is the time to come together to keep our country safe forever. So open up your heart, let us show love number ease. Love is all we need to make a stand. Let's protect one another. And let's live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Sweet life.
Sweet Liberia, sweet Mama Liberia, land of liberty. It's our home, it's my home, it's your home, it's the home of all of us. I want to say welcome to a special Christmas broadcast. This is the Dakpannah Show. We are excited to be back on another edition of the show on Christmas Day, the day that was set aside to celebrate our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Want to say welcome wherever you are, however you are following. Want to say we are excited to be back with you. The Dakpannah Show is a thought-provoking and stimulating talk show that discusses topics of national significance. We discuss the issues that matter most to Liberia, focusing on the growth and development of our common denominator, our common patrimony, Liberia. On the Dakpannah Show, we agree to disagree with dialogue and not confrontation. We speak words, we do not shoot bullets. We seek to make Liberia a wholesome, functioning society for all of us on the Dakpannah Show. I want to say Merry Christmas to all of you guys, and I wish you all a happy, prosperous New Year. 2023 will be a major year in our country, a major year, and I mean a major year in our country. That will be a year where we'll be going to the ballot box to elect new code of officer to lead our country for 6 years. So I want to say welcome to the broadcast. On the Dakpannah Show, we solicit the views of everywhere many Liberian, no matter which part of the political divide they may be. We are independent. We are here to reconcile our differences. We are here to uplift our country. We are here to analyze, suggest, discuss all of the happenings in our country. I want to say welcome. We are excited to be back. I want to say welcome to all of you guys. Thanks for joining the broadcast. Merry Christmas, wherever you are, however you are following. I want to say thanks, and thanks. Share the live. Tell a friend to invite a friend. Without much ado, I want to pass it on to my colleagues, former employee of the state-run broadcasting system, and we are excited having in our midst Mr. James Akwe. Welcome, my dear brother. You can go ahead with the broadcast.
So yes, I mean, viewers, hello and welcome. This is the Dakpannah Show right out here. And the Dakpannah Show, as and he said earlier, this is the show where we discuss definitely the issue that matters. But currently, we're in the festive seasons, and we will be looking at some of those issues that are trending. And definitely, I'm going to say, already although some of those issues that are trending just about a day ago, and we heard about the death of 2 Zogos right out there in Liberia, and some stampede or so, and there was also some businesses or so when it comes to sales being low. I mean, those are just maybe the top notch issues that we would love to chase and follow. And maybe others definitely will be able to come in. And I have with me a number of guests here, a number of individuals who will be participating on the show right out here. My name is James Akwe, as Dakpannah earlier said. And pitch the ball to others who will take the time to introduce themselves, of course, beginning with Shelton. Shelton, how are you? And welcome to the Dakpannah Show.
Thank you very much, Brother James Akwe, Mr. Dakpannah, Big Brother Mohammed Cannon, Papi Xavier Cody. It's a pleasure again for us to be here at this time to discuss the issue that matter. Like you rightly said on Dakpannah Show, we disagree to agree, no matter your political affiliation. So I'm happy. Just introductory speech. I just want to say thank to everyone that following right now, and we are here again at this time, especially the day that most of us believe that Christ Jesus was born. So many of us have been celebrating these days in so many ways, but I think what matters is for us to be here as a panelist to discuss the issue. I think that alone clearly tells all that all of us celebrated the day in a very unique way. Once again, I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, Shelton Duo right out there, and he's speaking from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm right in Waterloo, Iowa. And we all technically, we still on the West Coast, and we still experiencing the blizzard. The stormy, chilling wind. I continue to keep a number of individuals indoor. I guess that one and others definitely may be indoor. But we'll be talking about the weather later on. But the weather situation for me in my own area now is 9 degrees Celsius, and trust me, it's really cold. So let me see if I can be able to get another host of another panelist right out here at Mohammed Khan. How are you? And welcome to the Dakpannah Show. Talk to us. Tell us a bit about.
Good evening, everybody, and Merry Christmas to all of you guys, the panelists, and to our viewers out there. We want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Okay. It's always good to be on this show. We started a show almost 3 years ago with Dakpannah, and we've been struggling, but hey, this is the best place to discuss the issue, regardless of our differences. We always, like my brother said, we disagree to agree, especially when it comes to the national issues, So yeah, it's good to be here, and I'm engaged to interact with all of you guys tonight, Thank you.
So yeah, that was, the voice of course, Mohammed Khan, and you right there, you heard him when he said this is the place, where we come to discuss the issues that matter most, and this is where we agree to disagree. And on the far right there, I see in the lower corner, I see Papi Xavier Colley, the former Star Radio icon man who used to strike real high. One point in time, he reported from the executive mansion, and where he used to be with me and the rest of it. Another time he was at the Capitol building. And Papi Xavier Colley is seated right now with his beautiful wife, though he's not on camera. But Papi, talk to us. Talk to us, man.
Merry Christmas, guy. Thanks. Thanks for being on the Dakpannah Show. And first of all, moving forward, I would like to do a countdown to Mr. George Weah expiration from office. We have technically 10.
Oh, Papi Xavier Colley is coming in broken. Papi.
10 months. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Papi. Go ahead. Papi Xavier Colley.
This guy hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Papi. You just need the position, maybe your phone. A little bit, Yeah, go ahead, Papi.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Am I?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Okay. All right. Like I said, first of all, it's good to be back on this show. This is where it's a melting point for every one of us, where we can be able to come and discuss the issues We use war is not bullets. Other people saw bullet as a means of settling their matters, but as far as we're concerned, it is about time to come to this discourse to be able to discuss. Like I said, beginning today, December 25th, 2022, I will give a countdown to Mr. Weah expiration in office. That nightmare will be rejected by the Liberian people on several
This
counts, and
night,
I will be coming out with
yeah.
100 reasons. I will be coming out with 100 reasons why this nightmare will be rejected. And we have technically
Okay,
10
so
months, 10 months, 15 days for the nightmare to be rejected by the Liberian people. So, first of all, it's good to be back. And we here, I mean, I hope that we can.
Papi is coming in broken right out there. And Papi Silver Collie is speaking from Columbus, Ohio. Papi, how are you? You coming in broken?
Yeah, I think he's on the road, so that's the reason.
Okay. So yeah, so I mean, we hope to be pitching.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Papi. Yeah. Okay, I mean that was the voice of Papi Xavier Colley, and earlier, as I said, Papi reported from Star Radio out there. And Star Radio used to be that station, that where they used to pounding on the issues very hard. And I remember sometimes when we used to go for press conferences, and being assigned an executive marshal president said, he would say, "Oh, and what's the latest again from Star Radio?" And she would be asking Vivian Gatti and the rest of it. So yes, I mean, viewers stick and stay. This is the Dakpannah Show. We will make it super heavy and take those things definitely the matters that you want to hear. You will hear right out yet on the Dakpannah Show. But I mean, let me pitch the ball to Dakpannah Show, who is going to set the pace for the discussion. And I guess we're going to begin with the festive season. Dakpannah?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. James Akwe, a former midfielder. I guess I will give you a football title because we have a footballing president, a former midfielder of the Pempucha Army. Yeah,
Okay.
he used to work for the ELBC, the state radio. Yeah, so I want to say thank you, my dear brother. It's nice having you on the platform. And we are excited to be here on Christmas Day. A lot of things to talk about, but we need to talk a little bit about Christmas. How's the Christmas going from your end? How are you guys
Okay.
celebrating the Christmas? How was it?
Okay, so like I said earlier, I am in Waterloo, Iowa, and the temperature here stands at 9 degrees Celsius. I mean, we are still experiencing the stormy, chilling wind that continues to keep a number of individuals right indoor. But despite that, the roads are bad, the roads are terrible. And so normally when we are moving from one place to another, you have to take your own time. And this is not only Iowa. It's not only unique to Iowa. It's something across the U.S. and the rest. But despite that, we still have Liberians yet. Trooping to some areas, trying to make themselves happy. Like there was a program here. Held by the Liberian Association, where gift items were distributed and given to a number of children, and the rest of it. So yes, we are having a wonderful jolly time right out here in Waterloo. And just as you said, today happens to be, and most people definitely will be observing today, like yesterday, a lot of people observed the day, but it continues. And today, and trust me, Facebook definitely will be filled again with a number of photos, and the rest of it. So yes, we're having a great time out here.
All right, now Shelton, how's the end? Did you take the children off for ice cream? I know Minnesota is very cold, it's freezing over there. But how you celebrating the day, or how you celebrated the day?
Um, Thank you, Dakpannah, and thank you to uh, Brother James Akwe, who have added another flavor to the show. uh, that is science. And
They are feeling amazed.
yeah, my hair, I say, yeah, indeed, yeah, added another flavor to the show. Actually, like told you the last time, no, yesterday or Friday when we had a meeting, this is my first time, experiencing Christmas in in United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just that my learning process, I trying to observe, and today it started with I would say the lady that we in the house right now. He really put smile on the faces of my children this morning, including myself. That's why even today I decided to even just wear this particular clothes you see on me today. That was one of the beautiful and wonderful gift that I received from
Oh
my family.
wow. Wow, that's a
So
good one.
yeah, to just wear it today to just bring it on the show. But actually, on the issue of the Christmas celebrations today, it was very, very wonderful. My family and I, we went to the church this morning by the 10 o'clock. And right after the church, when we came home, uh, the person I refer to now as my daddy here, came and take them out, and I have been home too, or because for me the weather is not too good for me right now. I've been confined solitarily, home. I've been home. Only my family went with my spiritual father today around. They went around to some places just to make sure that the families, are happy. But to cut all matters short, we
Mhm.
celebrated it. Day. The day was very successful, and there are a lot of program, a lot of things that we learned from the church today about the death of Christ, especially the children ministry. It was actually good, and I wish to see another Christmas in time to come. I wish time we will be like veteran now in United States, but right now we still new. But what we saw today is a clear so that everything was okay. Yeah, everything was okay.
Thank you, Shetta. I appreciate that you getting adjusted, and this is your first Christmas, and this is the one that you remember. You say, oh yeah, the time was JJC.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
let's go to Papi. Papi, if you are there, you can go ahead. I know you are still on
Can,
the celebration.
can you? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we are hearing you.
All right. First of all, I had a fantastic Christmas, and it is still continuing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Having a family engagement as we speak, and it was great. But the only thing is that I'm sad. I have spent 4 years in America. Great,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, looking at activities back home, I share tears. Why? Because we have this nightmare hanging over our country called George Weah. Our
I
people
see when you are talking.
refuse.
I see when you are talking. Our brother Mohammed is smiling because like he love what you are saying.
Our people
You just love to
hanging.
gossip.
Our people. I mean, Dakpannah, please don't be a
Yeah.
distraction. We talking
No, go
still
ahead. Go
important.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I saw a couple of photos, videos. Senator Edwin Snow was videotaping some Liberian today. It's on your page. Go there, go see it. Go
Mm,
there, go see it. Videotaping Liberian, young Liberians. His son that came from the United States went to go spend vacation. Say, okay, I thank you for
mm.
coming. I get 100 for you with 2 becquerel. Why insult? Why always we should go to people's doors? People will be given Christmas. That the people who in power
But
be able
but
to
but
provide.
Papi, Christmas is all about sharing. So what is wrong with them sharing?
It is because of poverty. The sharing that we
Okay.
experience in America here is not what happened today. It is
Mhm.
poverty. It is poverty. Do you want to know what I'm talking about? Our young, I
Definitely.
mean,
Mm,
Dakpannah is so pathetic.
All right.
It's so pathetic. I'm not against honorable Smith hearing whatever. right? With the kids, but the manner and form it was done, it was so sad. It said tears in my eyes. It was so sad, right? I think that boy either be 9 years, just came out. Oh, okay, yeah, thank you for coming. This is hundred. This is $100 and two Becquerel. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? Then we have, quote unquote, this nightmare hanging over our calling himself president, who get in plea for 49 days to come out and tell all a lot of bull crap. At the end of the day, we see some graphic design work from the Ministry of Information telling us he went to the place, he got 55 million. He went to the other place, he got 200 million. And in fact, even brave, the money that were committed by the American government for the African country that are having elections,
Pa-
they even play
Papi,
money.
Papi, Papi, you
Mhm.
want to tell us your Christmas experience, then for them afterward we go to the main issue because you
Like
are
I
bringing
said,
the main issue into the discussion now.
I'm having a fantastic time. I'm having a fantastic time. And
Okay,
it's good to be
all
here.
right. Let me go there and go to Mohammed. Mohammed,
States.
how's the
The
Christmas from
best
your
country in the
end?
world.
Okay,
Christmas is good.
So for me
okay.
personally, Christmas in the United States is not um I've been here for 15 plus years now, and I've never really
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed Christmas like the way we do back home.
Oh, Mohammed, can't get on my back. Can't and get on my back.
So I right now as we
I
speak,
said it the last time, but the guys didn't disagree with me. Oh.
no, you don't really
Go
enjoy
ahead.
Christmas here. You don't really enjoy Christmas here, like
I
the
told
way we
him, I
see the
said the only
celebration.
thing we lacking finance in Liberia, but Christmas is enjoyable back home than here.
Yes, oh yes. Regardless of the difficulties that people are going through back home, the people will wash their little clean clothes and miss their little dirty clothes and whatever old
Mm-hmm.
clothes.
The Doka Flare, Mohammed Doka Flare.
They will watch it, and
Mm-hmm.
clean it, and they will move on and make the day a beautiful one back home, right? You don't have to have millions of dollars or money, but hey, people will still celebrate Christmas to the extent that you will see all over the place is just celebration. So for me, spending Christmas here, the last year time this I was back home, and it was beautiful. I think Sheldon, you were back home last year. But anyway, today I took the family this morning to the restaurant, my kids and my wife, and we had a beautiful breakfast, and then from there we came home, and then I left. I went out around 3 o'clock. I just got back home. And so for me, it's about reflections, sitting and looking back, you know, um, the year in review, right? Something like that, and look in your view mirror and see where you're coming from for the past 12 months, and then maybe you start to plan for the next year. For me, that's how I look at this whole thing. But to be very frank, when it comes to the celebration of holidays here, I don't
Mm-hmm.
really, because no time. People got to go to work. Like as we speak right now, we got folks all over the place. Some of them doing that
Yes.
12 hours, 16 hours, and they don't even care about celebration. So, but again, it's a holiday
Okay.
that people
Yeah.
really love to celebrate. But here, we don't really enjoy celebrating like back home. So, in short, that's what I
Okay.
did today. And yeah, let's get into the issues and
Okay. So let me just ram up. Let me just sum it up too. I'll talk about my own celebration. Yeah, it was good. This morning. This morning we went, me and my family, my American family, we went to one of our family member house, and we opened gifts. After we opened the gift, and then later on we had breakfast. After the breakfast, we came back home, and then later on we went back. And then we had dinner. So I just came from the dinner, and then it was good. But I always said celebration of Christmas in Liberia is enjoyable than here.
I agree
Can
with
you
you.
imagine you having gathering, no music? The American folk can say that party, but no music. Back home we talking about party, music playing, we dancing, we eating. But for here it's different. But we appreciate the American society. And we want to say we appreciate the celebration of Christmas. Money is here, but the enjoyment is less when it comes to Christmas or any other holiday. Mr. James Akwe, I will
Yeah.
let you to moderate the conversation as it relates to the issue, so you can go ahead, take charge.
Okay, so I mean, one of the first issues I want us to hammer down has to do with with businesses, low sales. Let's begin with business and interaction and the rest of it. We'll go to the politics and the rest of it. But let's begin with businesses. And if you observe, I mean, the businesses across the country complain of low sales. I mean, what can we attribute that to? Beginning with Mr. Cannon, what can you say about that?
Mr. Akwe, again, thank you.
Yeah.
This is what we've said to the Liberian people for the past 5 years now. Any nation, especially government, that fails to provide opportunities for her people. What I mean, opportunity, to get out there and do what we call in our Liberian saying to hustle, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me, give me 1 second. So yeah, any government that fails to do that, these are things that happen, right? So you're talking about low sales in the country. What you want our people to do, my brother? You don't have $500 in your pocket, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to go out there to spend $1,000? So again, people are poor today because of a lack of employment, no jobs. So what you expect the people to do? Where do they get money from to go out there and purchase what they need? When you're working, it makes it easier, right? Doing such holidays a day, to go out there, take your kids out to the ice cream shop, to buy some few dunga flares and put some cash in their pocket, and then the kids will go out there too. But no job, things are very tough on our people. According to what we've been hearing for the past few months, you have more sellers now than buyers, right? So what attributes to this is lack of employment, no jobs, and so forth. So I would just stop there for now. Nothing else we can do. The government has failed to employ her people to provide opportunities. The environment that people will be able to go out there and look for money, they have failed on it. So what do you expect?
Okay, so I mean, yes, I mean the voice of Mohammed Khan, I mean, right out there. So he definitely said that he attributed the low sales to what? To no jobs, and even those who are working currently in government. And a lot of them, I know a lot of individuals who really did not receive salaries. Even some of those that and others, trust me, even some of those who received check, they went to LBDI, other areas, and technically there was no money in the bank at all. Yes, so I mean that's the problem there, and that's the situation. So you hear Mohammed, lamenting or talking about the issue of unemployment, investors not going into the country. Investors are ready not to go into the country because if you have state security, I mean, like one point in time, we heard about this EPS security who went to a particular business and started shooting the rest of it. What's going to encourage investors to go into the country? Yeah, what's going to encourage investment in the country? No, people will not go there to invest their money. People will shot and they will shrink away. And I agree with Mohammed when he said, we attributed it also to the lack of governance structure or people being serious to really move the country forward. Again, that's the choice, the Liberian people made. Well, we wouldn't hope that Liberians definitely will rekindle their own decision. They will sit down and think real hard as we go towards 2023 that a much more a better decision will be made when it comes to moving the country forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Cannon. Let's move on to Sheldon Duo, Mr. Duo, who is just sharing border with me between Iowa and Minneapolis. Mr. Duo, how are you? And talk to us as well. The festive season back home, Liberia, sales just very low. What can you say? Speak to the Dakpannah Show.
Thank you, Brother Akwe, and thank you
Yep.
to the list audience again. Um, I will definitely, agree with Big Brother Mohammed. And for you guys have been here for some time now, like I always say this to you guys, for me, most of what is going on in Liberia is something that I know about very well because this is my just 4 months in this country. So if you look at Liberia right now, you will get to understand that the seller are more than buyer.
Yep.
And thing that is happening is not become, in a country, it's not everyone that will tend to settle. Okay. But what is happening in Liberia, like what Mohammed said, if you look at all of what is going on, the low sale in our country, everything just bow down to what they call unemployment rate.
Yeah.
If we're talking about unemployment rate, we are not necessarily saying that the government should employ everyone into various ministry and agency. No, it's not what we are saying. In this America that we live here, what keeping this country 24 hours is because of the job opportunity.
Yep.
Okay. Like I told Mohammed, not Mohammed or Dakpannah and other guy the last time on one of these shows that for me, my entire life, I'm now in my 30 going to 40. Can you imagine in Liberia back home? I never have that opportunity to even work back home. But can you imagine?
Oh.
I just here whatever I used to do back home is something that I was just doing, that kind of just say self-employment, what we call in Liberia, we used to do our own normal hustle, okay, to just live or to sustain the family. But I just came here and in September by October, I was able to be given that opportunity to work. So that's why you see that this country continue to go, not because and where I work is not a government of America employ me, but it's because the avenue was created. Okay. So that's why I was able to get job. And that's why we would like to see back home. Okay. People back home every time, especially sometimes I can be so perturbed that people in the government, especially the minister of finance, whenever he take the podium or he take the medium have been created to speak to Liberian people, he will always come talk about budget surplus and what have you. For me, I have been saying that get a practical, we want to see a practical example of why you have been talking about budget surplus. Okay. If you tell me today we have about over 700 million budget and we cannot see the actual reality on the life of our people, then what is the essence of the budget surplus? Okay. The government
Yep.
has not so created that kind of avenue so that investor can come. And like you said, I agree with you also when you talk about investor will not come, especially when you look at your history or your record, your security, because any investor that want to go in your country and go invest, they will first of all to take into consideration the issue about security.
Yep.
Okay, the rule of law that if I go in the country and one or two things happen to me, what justice will I get? Those are the things that people will be taking into consideration. But if you look at the rule of law in our country today, everything is broken. If you look at the justice system, if you look at everything is broken completely. So what will encourage investor to come in your country and can invest? So that's why you see today everywhere in our country, people, a serial minded people that we knew before that some of us used to relate to them that when it comes to financial issues, some of us when we were going to school we used to relate to them. They are turned to back up completely only because
Yeah.
there is no right now. So I agree with Mohammed. What is going on? I know other speakers how to speak, but what is going on about the low sale of our country right now is everything just bow down to what they call unemployment rate in our country and the government inability to create that avenue for Liberians to work and earn their and earn their money that were causing the problem of our country right now.
Sheldon Duo, thank you very much. You're speaking from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes, he's telling us that more Liberians definitely have turned to be beggars as a result of a broken system by the current administration right out there. But 2023 is going to be a defining moment. Article 84 of the Liberian Constitution empowers Liberians to go to the polls to elect a president, a vice president, and some members of the national legislature. So we want to hope the Liberians definitely, as the first player will be participating in voter registration to prepare to vote, they will be able to make the right decision to rescue the nation. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's move on to Papi Xavier Cuddy, the guy who one point in time worked with Star Radio, who worked with Star Radio one point in time, had several interviews with George Weah, and even visited the home of George Weah. And Papi, one point in time, will tell you, look, big brother Akwe, nothing used to be in the home of that guy. Papi was always in the home of Ambassador Weah. Papi, how are you? This is the Dakpannah Show. Speak to us. Tell us more. How are you, Papi Kali from Columbus, Ohio?
Thank you, Akwe. First of all, the Mohammed said, right?
Yeah.
The inability of the government to be able to provide the enabling environment for its citizens to work. It once happened to me, like for example, having a check of 2,000 out, and you walk into the bank, there's somebody telling you that, oh, no money in the no money in the bank. It's a complete. I mean, it's a mind blowing that you, to the extent you don't even want to see who's speaking to you. You don't want to see who's speaking to you, but it's a normal thing in Liberia. It's a normal situation in Liberia. Very normal. People feel very comfortable. Then worst of it all, Mr. George Weah came on the matter of authority without any campaign manifesto, without anything. That boy refused all interviews. He refused all debates. All debates. He refused all. George Weah did not tell how. But rather during his inauguration, he said Liberians were not going to be spectators in their own economy. But rather, Liberia will be a wholesome society for everyone to live freely. Is that what Mr. Weah said on the inaugural stadium at the Samarkand Sports Stadium today? No, absolutely. This man has turned to a beast, and a nightmare that is hanging over the country. That, you know what hurt me more is that when you listen to few sycophants that have been employed by the George Weah government and getting crumbs of the million that have been stolen by George Weah, then you have one voodoo economy calling himself finance minister. A voodoo economy. That boy, Samuel Tue, he's a voodoo economy. When you ready, just go and draw things and just sit and lecture our legislator. You know, at times, I don't blame the current legislature. How can you have the deputy speaker from the southeast, the pro tem is from the southeast, the speaker is from the southeast, the president is from the southeast. In fact, the deputy speaker, the pro tem, they all, and the president, they all from Great Crew. What sense does that make? For God's sake, you didn't rather go ahead and mix things that would be able to benefit the ordinary Liberian? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. George
Okay.
Akwe.
Go ahead, Papi.
With the current state of activities or affairs in the country, it's so appalling. Like for example, individually, Akwe, when we just sit to calculate between you and myself or every one of us on this show, let's be fair to ourselves. If we just look at our same wave, Western Union and MoneyGram, my brother, we are the one that keeping the country up right now. In as compared to, like for example, if Georgia will go will come to Washington D.C. and they promise to give 6 countries 165 million, and they go to say, okay, Georgia was able to secure 165 million. Ah, the people really serious? Are they really serious? Or like for example, when you go to a country, when country make commitments, commitment is just a commitment. They can come out at the end of the day, they tell you, say, oh, because our country, we had this constraint at the end of the day, we are unable to give you this money. It was just a commitment. It was not a grant that was signed, neither a loan. Or George Weah and his likes needs to come out to tell us the quote-unquote thing that they're flying around with on Facebook. Let it tell us what are all the commitment, whether it was a grant, whether it was a loan. Because if it is a grant, our grandchildren or our children will still pay that money back. When Weah is out, we'll pay that money back. So at the end of the day, this is something that we Liberians, we need to put the feet of this government to the fire, to speak straight to power. What Mr. Weah and his likes are doing to the country right now is totally uncalled for. Our people did not celebrate Christmas. I remember somebody was telling me on Facebook, in fact, my man, have you heard the news? I said, what? They said December 25th has been omitted from the calendar. There is no December 25th in Liberia. It's serious. You know? So those are some of the
Yeah.
things. I will stop here for all of to speak.
Okay, that's the voice of the former Star Radio icon. Papi Xavier Colley, who one point in time used to report there from the executive mansion, also from the national legislature. And of course, we go on to the big man himself, the man, and Dakpannah, Patrick and Papi Colley attributed everything to bad governance. And, definitely we're going to use this show, we're going to use this time, we're going to use the opportunity to be able to speak to the conscience of Liberians ahead of 2023. Because when I see Mohammed Khan, when I see Shelton Duo, I know definitely what they say they want to talk about. I know they want to speak to the conscience of Liberians. I know they want to speak to the intellect of our people so that they can be able to what? To make the right decisions so that they don't cry and complain again. Dakpannah, talk to us, man.
Thank you, Mr. Akwe, and I want to appreciate my colleagues for what they have said, but I want to disagree with everything that is said. George Manuel
Okay.
Weah is the best thing to happen to Liberia. George Weah is the best president ever in the history of our country. This is the man that came from the slum. George Weah is operating in a country where he took over, and the country we had a what a broken economy.
Okay.
If you were in George Weah's shoes, I don't know how many Liberians would perform like the way he's performing. And for me, I always tell people I'm not a seditian, I'm not a Weahian, but I speak to the facts, which is at hand. Now, so we are talking about broken, you talk over a country with a broken economy. All the money that was pumped in when Manasari was there, they squandered the opportunity, they misused the Nigerian money. Even admitted, she even admitted that the country was so corrupt, she took responsibility of all of being corrupt. Her son ran local damage during all things happened. But when John Weah came to office, he managed the little resources that we have. Today, under Weah, we got 8 million budget. 8 million budget, not 8 million, but 800 million budget on George Weah. Today, you see Liberians are lively. I don't know where you are coming from. This Christmas is going well. Businesses are functioning. People are making their business. People are buying. I've been following the social media. People have been buying. Normally, during the season time, you have more sellers than buyers. That's how it always been. It been like that during my study time, where you got more people selling, two people involved with auction. But yet, people still trying to make one or two earnings, one or two earnings. So we cannot come here and say, oh yeah, oh this country is messed up. No, Liberia is not messed up. We are struggling. Yes, I cannot say everything is bread and butter, but the fact of the matter, we still got people who taking upon themselves going around the community, sharing gifts, sharing food. During my ancestral time, how many times you saw people organizing party for children? How many times you saw people distributing a food or gifts around? No, it was not like that. But we see in this real regime, we see permanent Liberians, all Liberians in the country distributing things. During my say that one of the government, most time, one of the government you see ELBC. ELBC used to do that too. And I know you were there, Mr. Akwe. You all used to have Christmas and a party for the children. That was all. These are one of the people that used to have party, for children on Christmas Day. But today you see other people. I saw Jetty having party for the children. I saw other people around the country distributing food, distributing gifts for the children. And I think the country is lovely. I even saw a street jam where Liberian musicians were performing in the street. I even saw a street soccer, where the president participated. The man is a down to earth man. George Weah is humble. If the president can bring himself down to the people, that's why the people want. The people know George Weah will be a grassroots, and he's proving to be a grassroots, even though he has since ascended, but yet he still got his people at heart. We know that the economy have been in shambles. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the word right, but in shambles. If I'm not pronouncing it right correctly, you can't know too many people. But today, we can see that it's improving. We can see on cemetery is improving. We all know COVID came. When COVID came, during Manasalita, when Ebola came, what happened? The whole country went down.
Wait, Papi, wait, let Dakpannah finish. Papi, you gotta get Dakpannah chain, let him talk.
Yeah, Papi, let me learn. During Manasalita, during Ebola, with all the money that was pumping in our country, we saw everything went down. The whole country broke down. The economy went down the drain. But George Weah, we don't really have a lot of investors in our country. But during my say that we saw a lot of investors. But today, on Weah, the little resources that we generated, that they want the government utilizing. And when COVID came, everybody expected the economy to go down the drain. But instead of the economy going down the drain, the economy started to accelerate. And it accelerated to some level, even though we're not yet there, but at least there are some improvement that we can point to. And I think Samatua is one of the best ministers that we can boast of. And I don't like to talk about Samatua in the way how Pabi spoke about him because he is sick. The man is critically ill. He's nursing injury from the accident. So they'll pray for him to get on his feet before we start to demonize him. But I think Samatua is performing. And improvement, the country is improving. I can speak to a lot of good things that are happening since we are to over 2018 with the guardians, with the able guardian of Joe Hotel. You listen to her the other day. She spoke about their achievements. Look at latest. There was huge condemnation. Everybody was condemning the census before it could even start. But when the vice president got in today, we can say the whole census was a success. So we cannot demonize our country. We are enjoying what they are performing. And I don't want to campaign, but I think for all the intangibles that I'm seeing, they could be re-elected come 2023. I will start there for now, but I think that is getting there.
Dakpannah, what are the indicators of economic growth? When you say the economy is growing, then we really technically cannot see like opportunities and the rest of it for Liberians and the rest of it. And you're talking about economic growth. I mean, others may say, it runs counterclockwise. Yeah, others may say it runs counterclockwise to what you see, because if you are speaking of economic growth, if you are speaking of budget surplus and the rest of it, and people continue to languish in direct poverty, then how do you distinguish between the two?
Poverty has always been in Liberia. But when we talk about the economic growth, we look at the IMF. The IMF came up, the World Bank. Look at the statistics for IMF. Look at the statistics for World Bank. Liberia has improved. We have improved when it comes to fiscal management. Look at when it comes to the monetary aspect. Central Bank under the watchful eye of Talu. You see that the bank is in control. Today you can go to the bank, you get any amount of money you want. Not back in the days where you go, you can get money, but today we see everything improving. The economy is gradually getting there, even though it's slow. And I would not say it's fast growing, but it is slow. But there are some improvements that we can point to. Now, we will continue to see unemployment on a rise because the government is fighting hard to bring investors in the country. But we have opposition who are discouraging people. Every time they see the government try to make improvement, that's the time they can organize protests. The last time, my own dear brother, they organized a protest called We Are Tired Suffering. And at the end of the day, all those things, they are scared tactics. You got more the reaction. But for
Okay,
you to put your
okay,
strategy together to be able to fight a battle, then now you organizing protest to scare investors away, to create havoc and panic in the country. So job will come. We have some job right now. Look at the hospital in Babolu. Look at the hospital in Riverside. If those hospitals open, we will have Liberians being employed. So job is
okay.
coming gradually, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay, Dakpannah, let me just hold you right there. Others may say definitely. I mean, it's quite it's an irony to speak of economic growth, and when you have growing unemployment, no money in the banks, and growing insecurity. But we'll come back to you later on. Let me go to Mohammed Khan. Let me join
You
Mohammed Khan.
know,
And
you
Mohammed,
know,
how are you?
yeah,
Mohammed,
Dakpannah,
speak to Liberians right now who probably might be listening to you. What can you say? You heard the many praises. I mean, that Bannon is raining on the we are government. They later on go to Papi Kali. But
Dakpannah
Mohammed Khan
tried,
has talked
right?
to us.
Dakpannah tried, he tried, but he didn't, just try harder. And again, I don't blame him, right? I won't take this, against it because he's trying to balance the show, right? But his
Yes.
conscience is eating him up right now. Where he sits, so I won't go there with him because if you boast of
Now your view.
if you boast of 800 million budget, right, and you boasting
Yeah.
of budget surplus, but you've harmonized civil servant and other people's pay, right?
Yeah.
Folks that were making $150, $200, you cut their pay right now, their salaries to maybe $80, $75, some of them $40. And you look at inflation right now in the country, all right? The buying power has been reduced. But then you want us to sit here and believe that, yeah, the country is making progress, the government is making progress. My brother, nobody's to be here, all right? But what I want to say is this.
Yeah.
Liberia is in a bad shape. Let's put joke aside. We need a very, very, proactive president, a government that will come in place to vigorously, bring investors in the country so that the kind of situation we find ourselves right now, we can move from this particular situation. Liberia is in a bad shape. Again, no government can succeed when unemployment is high as compared to where Liberia is today. In order for the government to make progress, in order for the people's lives to improve, the people got to be able to go out there and do what is needed to be done for them and their families. And it all boils down to what? Cash in your pocket. All right? You boasting
Yeah.
of this government's progress, my brother. Go back to your PAPD. You guys promised the Liberian people to what? To provide, I think, 200 jobs, 400,000 jobs on a yearly basis, right? Apart from those folks that you guys employ in the government, how many private sector jobs you guys have created? 5 years now. So, Dakpannah, like I said, you trying to balance the show, so it's okay. But hey, we will speak to the Liberian people, we will speak to their conscience going into 2023. You will look at the past, you see the present, and then the future. 5 years ago, where were you in terms of your buying power, doing things for your family? 5
Yeah.
years after, where are you? Are you better off now? You think you want to stay where you are and continue to beg people and beg friends and family overseas? All right, if that's what you want, that's how you think your life, you were born to live, the kind of life you live in now, it's left with you. Vote for President Weah. But on a very serious note, our folks are living in abject poverty right now. Liberia is bad off. When you take phone and call our folks back home, you talk to 5 people, maybe one person will say maybe something little better, but the rest of them, what they will tell you is discouraging. So again, this government has failed. They have not been able to create the avenue to encourage investors to come in the country. They have failed to provide a kind of secure environment where investors will feel free and brave with their money. So again, they have failed in all front. All right, you boasting of Samuel Toy. Samuel Toy is just I don't even know how to describe him. You think Samuel Toy can change anything around with all the mechanism put in place by the IMF and the World Bank? Where are we? They failed the MCC challenge. They failed nowhere. All right. So again, those that will sit here and listen to folks that Dakpannah and agree with them are those that are in government, those that are enjoying. But look at yesterday. How many Zogo got killed yesterday? Because the government cannot even take care of our own people. The Zogos are hungry. They are dying slowly on a daily basis. They are doing drugs. Our country has become a transit point for drugs. Is this the kind of country we want for our people? No. So, moving forward to 2023 and beyond, we will continue to sensitize our people. And this time around, they will look between the candidates, amongst them. George Weah.
Oh, yes. Yes, I mean, Mohammed Khan, thank you very much, going against the clock of, Dakpannah, saying directly that the Weah administration indeed has failed. And Mr. Khan is speaking in line with the loud, thunderous cries, for the country. Nowadays, you heard him. When you call someone from Liberia, it's all about tears. They're going to tell you how they are not working. They're going to complain about how their children, do not have food on the table, needless to even have cash to send those children to school. Sheldon Duo is right. You have just come from Liberia, but you'll be talking to us. But let's go on to Papi Xavier Colley, the man who personally met Weah, went into the home of Weah. Papi, was Weah a rich man before he became president? Papi.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. In the first place,
you visited the home of Weah, and I'm saying this, folks, because I know very well that Papi used to always be in the home of George Weah. I know that for a fact. Papi, was Weah a rich man before he became president? Talk to us about his home and the rest of how was it. You used to always be there, along with other journalists.
Weah was a former rich man. In the first place, he used a political springboard to be able to resuscitate himself from poverty. That is, getting the power, fooling the people that he was coming to power to be able to help the Liberian people. But at the end of the day, the Liberian people would rather provide him more help because he was drowning. Technically, because we used to come to we used to enter the country. Before he became senator, if Representative Snow and other people in government don't provide him car, we are not even having car to drive. As former war bears, everything in a year were all broken down. So at the end of the day, if Dakpannah will come here to tell us that, things are good, Weah is the best person ever. Yeah, Weah is the best person. Dakpannah, saying Weah is the best person, you need not to be in the United States. Go and help Weah. You need to go and help Weah to be able to bring that manna from heaven every day so that you can benefit from that manna. But to come and make you blinded yourself with reality at the end of the day to speak completely something that is not existing at all, it is so unfortunate. Even if you have a son, your 2-year-old child, if they're near you right now, they will put a very good slap in your face or in your ear for just saying anything. Because you be very disingenuous to yourself. With the current state of activities in the country, it's so pathetic and it's so disheartening. At the end of the day, if you are not a reaction or a supporter of the government forget about it. Even the vice president is on record. You know, the vice president is on record that this is CDC time. If you not when she made that call to paramount chiefs in Bon County, didn't you hear that in 2018? Didn't you hear that? That you come to tell all the at the end of the day. So these are people at the end of the day. Are you presenting in America to fool we are? You know, recently when we came to Washington DC, there was this allegation of 100,000 that was sent to Gilman account, and all talk show hosts in America fighting over that money. That free money is free. Everyone want a portion of that money. Then at the end of the day, you people come to tell us the work that Mr. Weah was charged to perform for the Liberian people. At the end of the day, he cannot even 1% perform his job. Then you come to the lecture on that, oh, everything is okay in the country. Everything is okay. I agree with you. But then what are you doing here? You need to go and be the able deputy to Mr. Weah or Mrs. Taylor, the vice president, so that you all can be able to provide our manna for heaven for the Liberian people. You know,
So,
this is something that we need.
Yeah, so yes, you are listening to the Dakpannah Show, the Dakpannah 24 hours. I mean, a number has just been pinned right out there, and of course, you can call to participate on the show. It's 657-413-9380. Papi, Sylvia, Collie, and thank you very much for weighing in there on that particular issue. But let's go. Let's move on to Sheldon. Duo Sheldon, you are just from Liberia. I was in Monrovia at the time when I saw people trooping to the compounds of CDC, buying T-shirt and marking CDC and writing at the back, "We are." Sheldon, you are just from Liberia. Can Liberians, can people do that today?
Brother Akwe, when I was listening to Dakpannah got me to share tear right now.
Hey, man, don't cry. Don't cry.
Well, Mr. Akwe, before Sheldon continue, let me take the first caller, please.
Okay.
Caller, welcome. And you know where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Minnesota.
Yep.
John Lover win.
I'm calling from Minnesota.
Yep.
Why
you say your name? You say your name. Your name.
Almighty God, so our life is.
Hold on. Just hold on.
I was thinking, no, I'm not worried because they are all still a bunch of lies. It's just only 6 minutes. You want to the extent that you want to do one of them there, and then I want to not to develop in that deal. Then I want to not to do that deal. That's about 12 years. That's about 16 years in that deal. The job never talking about people should get. Every job is created job. It's a good created job for everybody. What is the job we are to power and took away all the job away from them? Yeah, I want the person to answer. So the job I ever created, the job we are to give everybody, I should answer that question. We must see. The people are working on the roof. Every time job is created, the people are building hospital. Every time job, what kind of job are you to go? If you're going to get a job, oh, you're going to have to job. If you're going to get a job, the scholarship is just for the people of level. That's 2 hours people that in that job. 2 hours, our people that come in that job. You get creating hardship in the country. And those cities get a job, and all of your supporters very behind. I'm in one thing that's for the country. That is saying that's for the people you get from that after you usually have everything. Issue and discouraging people and you take an opinion and to create this respect your purpose, your level is sitting on to be. Today, if you know, people are in the street. That the life is at all. That no one is on the character, the jolly good and country, no one is respect the purpose. Then I to the purpose of social people. People are still the investment in the army. For 50 years, they are still not to see. They cannot want the president. They just shoot at you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I guess Josh may be talking about growth, economic growth that we
Mm,
are is doing well and the rest of
mm,
it, and I guess he's
mm.
talking about jobs being created, and the rest of it. But I mean, we will come and respond definitely. I mean, I will
Mhm.
chip into every one of you to comment what to make comment, to give a slap back on a Josh comment. But let's move on to Sheldon Duo. Sheldon, you are just from
Yeah.
Liberia, Monrovia. Many days when I was in Monrovia, I saw people trooping towards the compounds of the CDC, buying t-shirt and marking behind CDC and writing George Weah. Can Liberians do that today? Sheldon Duo, speak to us. You are just from Monrovia.
Like I just told you, Brother James, you know, while we are sitting here talking, uh, that what I just told you from the Genesis that for Dakpannah to have even said that the president of Republic of Liberia took over broken economy. I don't know how can he reconcile that, because how can a common a citizen of Liberia know that a president took over broken economy? It's seen by the president going on one area and where now that hey, we took over broken economy is just an indicator that somebody can sit and agree with me that he took over broken economy. No. If that all you want for Liberian to believe that you took over broken economy, the first thing you should have done after you got elected, the first thing you should have done was to carry on an audit, okay?
Yeah.
Which the president did not do or the government did not do. And then on the other hand, after some years in power, I think President we have an interview with one of the local radio station or either international radio station, something like that. He also said when they generally asked him to grade Manasteli regime, she, he also said okay. I think the recording are there. I cannot really remember which one the radio station or which one the media outlet are really interviewing. So that alone validates that if you are telling all that you talk about economy at the same time growing your predecessor 80%, it means that everything was okay. But anyway, that's not the issue right now. If you could have had that see it will be. But here is the thing, brother, who asked about how Liberians are going about printing their own teachers, especially sedition. Brother, as I
Yep.
speak to you as I speak to you right now, you have what they call a disenchanted sedition. Okay. And disenchanted sedition are those who used to make sacrifices for President Weah prior to 2017 election. But as per their expectation was President Weah coming from Gibraltar, who knows the issue that common men confronted with. And then he got elected. He are not worrying about what he was elected for. So what every hope that those guys have in President Weah, either they are very much disenchanted. So they call themselves a disenchanted city. So kind of people, if you were to ask them that, hey, we have program for CDC, you think those guys will take their $1 that is supposed to support their family way to go print teacher for President right now? No, it's not possible. I also listen to Dakpannah when he make mention about Manatera talking about everything is okay, this and that. Is Dakpannah have soon? Look, what is happening in Liberia right now, James, is the issue of me, I and myself, we have to do away. This same Manatera, when they got power newly, where at the time she never used to get or how they call incentive. They were all around here crying. Oh, my gasoline, oh, my this, my that. I I've been packed. I'm a old now. I've been packed to Garo. In fact, at a certain point of time, she described herself as old keke pack to Soniwen. I think you guys can remember that. In fact, for Ambassador Boaka was old car to Garo, but for her, she is a old keke pack to Soniwen. Only because she was not getting of incentive. Okay, but just yesterday or day before yesterday, I listened to her on Spoon FM. She was praising the government only because she is getting what belongs to her, what friends are crying. You see the kind of thing we are talking in Liberia, my brother. It's not all the thing we are talking here, even we are sitting on the show, it's not all about us. We can one way or other say God bless some of us now to have come in this country. But again, you and I will not be in peace here when our brother and sister in Liberia, when they continue to suffer. It means that while we even work here, we will not be able to say what we intend to say. I think Dakpannah knows that even 2 days ago, you myself we were talking a joke, telling that how a phone can rest from back home. In fact, when we host, he admitted that. He on the show, he admitted that. So I was surprised. I said that everything, smooth in Liberia. So all the things we are saying, the public will be the judge. Okay. The public will be the
yes, Sheldon Duo. Oh, you are muting. You are muted.
No, I think you are getting me. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting you.
So in conclusion, I was just telling you that some of those indicators, especially when Dakpannah said they talk about broken economy, those are not the indicator that somebody will bring to a reasonable minded person like you and myself. Okay? That is not is far off from reality, because everywhere a good somebody that want to lead, if you really sincere that yes indeed you talk what broken economy is not for you to go steal Liberian people money, then you pretend that you did not meet anything in the cover. No, if you were serious to have convened Liberian people, you should have conducted audit. So for you to just make a vague statement that President Weah talk over broken economy that you want for you and myself to believe on the show here, Dakpannah, no, he did not, because he did not prove to any Liberian that he took over broken economy. Okay, so that is not justification. Look at our country today, my brother. Let you make mention about the 2 Zogo that were just killed yesterday, just because of the I would say the inability of some government official. Look at what Finabono did. You put the people on a high impression that all of those guys, those Zogo, all those left out no guys should go to 8 years the president have gave for them. Okay? Only because those guys, when they converted, said there, for you to see that the crowd was too much and then you did not do what you earlier told them that you were going to carry good, and the action of Finabono has caused a lot of problem for Liberians yesterday. People who were looted, Liberians lost their life only because of the action of Finabono. Then Dakpannah want me to say the president is doing well? No. If they were even serious, giving $20, $5 to those guys will not solve the problem. Okay? What they had to do now is, that Senator Darrell Deron there talking about rehabilitation center, even though some Liberians have been having problems, but the intent of I have my degree from criminal justice, right? You can have
Just 1 minute, Dakpannah. People are saying that means they cannot see the names of the panelists on that. I don't know. The names of the panelists.
Yes, for
okay,
the father. But the father he painted the number, definitely the name will we on there.
Oh,
so
okay.
I come in, because I put the number up and they always want the number, so I come in take it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, Sheldon, are you through now?
Yeah, I'm done. I just want to make that basic, correction to Dakpannah that the issue of taking over broken economy should not be the issue right now, because it's just a vague statement, it's just an ambiguous statement that none of us can even take that into consideration.
Okay, Sheldon. Okay, Sheldon, do a friend. Yes, Sheldon, do thank you very much, and thank you for talking to us. I mean, right out there on the Dakpannah Show. But I mean, Dakpannah, you know, when you were speaking just now, Sheldon Duo said he almost cried, because he is just from Liberia. He knows exactly the situation in the country, what is unfolding, the rest of it. And if you are claiming that the Ellen Sirleaf government was corrupt and the rest of it, well, we are greater than B. And moreover, the WEA administration has refused to carry out an audit. So why do you think? Talk to us. Why you think that the WEA administration cannot conduct an audit on an administration that you are and other seditian, probably you're not a seditian, other seditian technically will say, oh yeah, the Ellen Sirleaf government and it failed. But we are graded President Sirleaf B and has refused to conduct an audit. Why you think so? What's happening?
Thank you, Mr. Akwe. And I think Sheldon, that was a tears of joy. There was not tears of sorrow. Yeah, Sheldon is in America now, he's enjoying himself, so that's a tear of joy. But the fact of the matter is that, look, I'm not saying that everything is well in Liberia, but what I'm saying that to some extent there have been some good things. There have been some stability in the country. There have been some improvement when it comes to fighting corruption, when it comes to eradicating poverty. There have been some huge improvement by this regime.
I disagree. I disagree when you talk about corruption.
When you say fighting corruption, I mean, just a few months ago, 3 officials of the WEA government and the 3 officials were slammed with sanctions and U.S. sanctions and the rest of it. Yeah, just hold on, Sheldon. You're talking about the WEA administration being firm in fighting and tackling the issue of corruption, but just about 2-3 months ago, I mean, they were
corruption is a menace. Yeah, Mr. Akwe, I got the question. Corruption is a menace that is difficult to fight. We all know we have been fighting corruption. There have been some government officials who have been prosecuted for corruption.
Need
the American schema.
How many government officials have been prosecuted?
But then why you got when I'm talking? I don't talk when I'm talking. I just judging my show.
Let's keep the question. Let's keep the question. Let's keep the question after Dakpannah.
When I'm talking, I don't talk. But when I'm talking, I can give it chance. You see how you got intolerant?
Let's keep the question after when you finish speaking. Then we'll ask the question. Yake.
Go ahead. You guys are very intolerant. Y'all gotta respect my view. We have been fighting corruption. You guys are talking about why we are not auditing the past regime. I told you guys, this government took a country with huge challenges. The government took over a broken economy. You cannot make auditing. You cannot make the president said it. You cannot make auditing because the president officials.
You take it at face value.
Shut up. You can't shut up. You disagree with me. I'll give you a chance.
No,
let me learn. Let me learn.
I don't want for you to rely on the statement of the president because the president said it. Mean that true?
But the president took over a country. He was.
How do you know?
He was. How you call it? He was. What the war? He was told. And
shut down that
he was told by his authority. He was told by the authority. Yeah, let me learn. Because when I've been talking for hard to give me, I get lost my thought. Yeah, then they can give me hard time. So now the president There's a word I want to use, but the president said that he took over a broken economy. He took over a broken economy. And how will you take over a broken economy where you got a lot of challenges as a country, and then you start going to fight and you want to audit or the whole government. You cannot audit the entire government right now. The government said they will do that, but it's not a priority. Auditing the past government, it involves a lot of money. It involves a lot of money. You got to spend a lot of money to audit. It's not free to audit. That money that the government will be using to audit the entire area administration, that money it can be used to what? Open schools, to build schools. It can be used to pay teachers. It can be used to pay doctors and other things. When we are took over with all the huge economic challenges the government are faced with, 2,000 doctors, they were not on pay. They put them on payroll. Today, those 200 doctors, those 2,000 doctors, they are taking pay. And another 2,000 doctors was sent out of the country. So this government is performing. The National Housing Authority, the boss that was there, when he prosecuted for corruption, when he prosecuted the guy at the passport area there, the director of passport, when he prosecuted for corruption, he was prosecuted. And I can name many other government officials that were prosecuted for corruption. But if the government loses the case, you can't blame the government. Prime Samuka was also prosecuted for corruption. Prime Samuka from the early government, he was prosecuted for corruption. So there have been a lot of corruption cases that the government have been fighting. It is tough to fight corruption, but I think President Weah has done some. He has made some strides in the fight of corruption, and all we need to do is to ask the government to do more. Now, when we talk about poverty in the country, can anybody tell me which government that there have been no poverty? Which government where we haven't seen zogos on the street, where we haven't seen people struggling to find food to eat? Manaseli government, where we have billions of dollars coming to the country, people are living on less than $1 a day on a Manaseli. We saw what happened during Manaseli era. It was because of Manaseli that we have zogos. Zogos got on the rise during the Manaseli era. And with all the money now coming to the country, they didn't do much. Are you guys not aware that recently, President, we have launched a program to take zogos on the street? The government even committed millions of dollars to that program in collaboration with their partners. The program is ongoing. The government is doing everything in its power to take zogos on the street. The government is doing everything in its power to transform the life of the Liberian people. George Weah cannot do it all. We know that there are some government officials in the Weah regime, they doesn't mean well for the country. But you cannot expect the president to be everywhere. Papi talked about the president stay at the country for 9 days. Do you know how many commitments the president was able to negotiate? Over 250 million. You guys said that the president spent 1.5 million, but the government will be getting 250 million. Almost 300 million from all the partners they met with. President, we will also be coming back to the US here in March of next year. So we cannot just condemn the government. We got to look at the successes of the government as well. And for me, I'm looking at the successes. There are more to be done. But look at the rule of law on a Weah. Look at the only problem I have with this government is the security. When you look at the security sector, it's poor. That's all. But when it comes to development, we see roads across the country. And I agree with the statement that President Weah made. I'm not sure they'll get angry when I say this, but I will say it. Liberia is like Miami. Liberia can be compared to Miami because we see the beaches or those amusement centers already in Miami. We see it there in Liberia today. Look at the beaches. Look at the streets. The CLSG, you are not congratulating the government for the CLSG. Honorable said they were owing 7 million. 7 million. And later on, when we are took over because of some economic challenges, so they were not able to pay the money, it went to 9 million. It was the Weah regime who paid that 9 million. Today, we have the CLSG land. People getting current all over. Even my pa, who not even supporting the government in Virginia, he getting current. People in Johnson all across the country. And all across the country. Even Mohammed, where he lives, where Mohammed got a horse. I even told that my myself got his meter. So you see, everybody getting electricity now. So we need to help the government for the good things and call on the government to double up their effort. I want the government to double up the effort. I'm not saying everything is
Okay,
rosy. I'm not
Dakpannah.
saying everything is bread and butter. No,
Uh,
but good things are happening in Liberia, and George Weah is on the verge of winning 2023 based on the tangibles. That's what we're looking at.
okay, so
Sheldon is sharing the tears
you know,
of joy. He's sharing our
you
tears of joy. And,
know,
and, and, and I know that for the good things that are happening abroad, that's why he's crying because he's so excited to see good things happening.
uh, Dakpannah,
Let me come in, please.
Dakpannah, how are you? Okay, I mean, you just listen to in fact one of the panelists or the host of the show, Dakpannah, and defending his own side that the we administration is doing well when it comes to
No,
moving the country
right now, I'm a
forward.
panelist.
Papi said they're calling
Mr. Akwe,
Papi,
Mr.
Papi,
Akwe,
yeah.
I'm a panelist right now. You the host. You the host. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm a
okay.
panelist.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I mean, that's one of the panelists right there, of course, on the
Mm-hmm.
Dakpannah Show. And my name is James Akoy. I am currently in charge when it comes to moderating. I mean, the show right now. Papi Silver Colley definitely wants to come in to provide one or two, maybe corrections and make some comments. Papi, how are you? Talk to us, Papi. I mean, what is it that you want to talk about? But one thing, the one I hope you do not forget. And this is not the first time when it comes to Zogo's action. It happened right there in Nikruta. I really do not know what is it that the government did. Maybe if the government could have done something, this would have been averted. Papi Savior Colley, how are you? Welcome back, Papi. Papi.
Papi went off.
Oh, okay, Papi. I mean, has gone
Yeah.
off now. Shelton Duo, Cannon. So can we have a little bit of an interlude of music, maybe for a few seconds or so? Then we can be able to comment. Dakpannah, can you maybe pitch us
Yeah,
with a little music?
definitely.
Yeah, just pitch
Definitely.
up with
Definitely.
just pitch up with a little
Yeah,
music.
definitely.
And indeed, Facebook, we have no copyright to songs on this podcast. And this is the Dakpannah Show right out here. And we definitely trying to provide some moderation on the show right out here. Shelton Do, Mohammed Kanan, Papi Savior Colley, Dakpannah and others are right out here. I mean, the Dakpannah Show, like he said earlier, and this is where we agree to disagree. Yep. Okay, Facebook, we put no copyright to songs on this podcast.
Yeah, Mr. Akwe,
We
we should
own
take
no
the music off
copyright
there,
to
man.
songs.
Tell me say you love me, but you only want your paper. Enough to pay, enough to pay. Nobody's to pay.
Nobody's stupid yet.
He love you. Alligator I can make me holla. You want to click at the moon. You got a serious emotion fire. Tell us what you I Christmas on you. I Christmas on you. I Christmas on you. And I know I Christmas on you. I Christmas on you. That's a move on you. I love Happy people, happy New Year. But not everybody happy in the New Year. They're participating in my man about New Year. But if you are telling me, I would tell you, yeah, Christmas for me, I come down, but then it's a fly. So all of y'all, man, so I'm going to bring you around the ball. But you know, I'm the bad day. Give me my Christmas, and people love to what in I get. Oh, you want this my hair, but this my nails. Take me out so I can chill. Let the flow flow, let the money flow. Oh, my Christmas on you. It's gonna pop on. Let the Christmas guy come. Yeah, everybody for that money.
Wherever you are, this is the Dakpannah Show. the nation's premier platform where we discuss the issues that matter most
That
to
matters.
Liberia. My Christmas on you. Yeah, Mr. Akwe?
And okay, so yes, I mean you are definitely right. This is the Dakpannah Show, and where we discuss the issues that matter most, and some of the issues that matter most.
All right, okay. Now we are back. We're back.
Okay, so yes, again, welcome to the show, the Dakpannah Show, where we technically discuss the issues that matters, and we have a number of panelists right out here with us. Mohammed Kanan is right here with us, and Shelton Duo is with us, and Papi Xavier Colley was earlier with us. He partly left, but we know definitely he's going to join us a little on, and we are looking at issues from the motherland. We started with what? With sales in a country where businesses bemoan that, and sales definitely, was low as a result of what? Low purchases, no money in the pockets of people, but the panel and strongly defending that, and to say that, oh yes, employment, he had his own side to defend. But can we move on later on to Mr. Kanan, Mohammed Kanan? Welcome back. And you listen to Dakpannah, and he said, Shelton is releasing tears of joy. He said Shelton is releasing tears of joy, and because of the many good things, according to him, that the WEA administration, technically might be doing so. But nowadays, Mr. Kanan, let's face it, when you receive a call from Liberia, Monrovia, what do they tell you? What do you hear? What do you hear from those calls?
You see, Shelton, my brother Shelton, sharing tears is not he's lived in Liberia since he was born, right?
Yeah.
And, coming over here just 4 months ago and seeing the life we are living here, looking back home and knowing very well the kind of life our people are living back home. And then when you see folks that Dakpannah sit here and want to sugarcoat it, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But let me take us back a little bit. You guys were talking about Dakpannah was just talking about President we are taking over broken economy. Let me tell you this. Government is continuity. The reason we have government in waiting as opposition is they sit back and look at current government, their shortcomings, what they are not doing well, what needs to be done.
When you come in, you try to fill in the void, you fill the gap.
Yeah. So for 12 years, President Weah and his folks, they sat back and they watched Madam Salif and her administration. All right. So they sat for 12 years and they prepared this beautiful framework, this beautiful document, the PAPD. That since we're looking at this woman, her failures, her shortcoming, we will come in to fill in the gap.
Yeah.
Right? And
since they are not doing well.
Since they are not doing well. And so when you come into the broken economy, you know already that, okay, maybe this woman was not performing well. We're going to come and step in to take it from where she stopped and improve it. That's how it works. Look at Madabio in Sierra Leone. When Madabio came, he audited his past regime, he predecessor, and he retrieved some money. All right, and then built on where he met the economy, where he met the country. When President Weah came, what they did? 1 year is government. President Weah, first of all, he declared his asset, but he didn't make it public. We don't know what was in President Weah's pocket when he was coming. In a few months after taking over, he started acquiring properties all over the country.
And demolished his house.
Demolished his that old what we call Bazaar in Gil, right? Bazaar on 9th Street. Demolished it and built a mansion right there. You and I will know about that. Go to those 17 or 47 units he built somewhere right there. So this brother, they didn't come with the mindset of changing things. After he caused noise behind Madame Sali for 12 years, they came to chop their own, according to his VP. It was their time to enrich themselves and loot the country. And exactly that's what they're doing today. So no Sam Mama Liberia will sit here and believe in what Dakpannah and his likes are saying. Where's the improvement? Look at our economy. Look at job creation. Look at our people's life today. So this government, there's nowhere. You're talking about hospitals? Yes, we agree. Life today is very important. It's good for hospitals to be improved, for people to, when you get sick, to go and get better treatment. Where is Samuel Tuer? And then the sad thing that happened recently, people not taking note of, Samuel Tuer, his bodyguard, his wife, and his driver, they got involved in an accident.
Yeah, and they let the driver, oh God.
And the security right in Liberia there. Flew to Turkey, right?
Yeah.
So you want to tell me Samuel Tuer and his wives, their lives important than those folks that were involved in the accident with them? Is this a kind of improvement? Is kind of 21st century the way we want to treat our fellow Liberians? Seriously? So you want to tell me that driver, his life doesn't matter? The security officer or his, I don't know, special guard or whosoever, life doesn't matter. But yeah, he flew to Turkey with his wife. They're getting the best of treatment when they boast of building 14 military hospital that is equipped with everything. Why couldn't they go to the 14 military hospital? Why couldn't they go to JFK that they boast of equipping with modern technologies and equipment? But because they fool themselves, they continue to fool.
Mohammed, let me hold you right there. That's a good other caller. Caller, welcome your name. Where you calling from?
I'm the CNN group, right? Mohammed. You study right there. 1 minute. You're talking about Samuel Tuer and what I think he's done with bodyguard. You all have a director hospital. That's a different fear of Peter. You all want to get a director like you. Another physician, please get another physician. Okay. You all want to get a senator getting everybody time if I want to GSP. You treat all of them and you put a driver, you can leave and cover on Friday, which means the condition was not that critical. If they were very, very much credible, they will not say anything. But because somebody was left the kind of death, and they say you have to use of water, they're going to do another country or something else. Every government does that. Every one of the world, even in America, people live in America, they China, or other places that treat them. It does not mean that they don't like the people that live in the country. They don't need somebody to accept the very guy and then it's down. Because the condition there is what the thing. The kind of condition is down and the security of it. Because if they are in there, they will not see them. So you please put a picture. You're going to take care of it. And two someone is teacher, not taking a teacher up. That's about job creation. What about job creation? They put all employment now, and you're very you know called circle. Any creator. See, you can call over. Someone call me the creator in Liberia.
You forget to call Joel. I want to know his name. Okay. Call Joel name.
Okay.
Okay, but
so wait. Mr. Moderator, we got
Dakpannah. Wait, Dakpannah. Hello, Dakpannah.
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead. Yeah.
Respond to the caller.
Yeah, but let me pray. I really do not like how Mohammed Khan was cut off. Even if there's a call.
Mr. Akwe.
Yeah.
The callers, they just come in and say they have to go. We the panel we here. So most time what I can do, hold you to a point, and then the caller come in and you continue.
Okay, so we're going to rejoin Mohammed Khan, and I guess
let's recognize Mr. Gus Coleman.
Yeah, Gus. I know. Gus, how are you? And welcome to the Dakpannah Show. And this is the Dakpannah Show again. This is where we technically will be discussing the issues that matters. We disagree to agree. We will not technically agree with all of the issues here, but this is where you come in to say exactly what do you, what's on your mind, and what you think is just good and just for the country. And, you know, we definitely we turn out to you later on. But just before you came on, you know, Muhammad Conan was on the line, and he was filling us in with some details also. So, Gus, again, you are welcome to the show. And definitely, we are going to join you. We're going to come to you. Just when, but let's rejoin Mohammed Khan for the next 2-3 minutes. Who was, you know,
I just want you to. I want you to also remember what you just said. The issues. Let's discuss the issues.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's not discuss the innuendos and all of that, because we don't get anywhere if we're just talking about this person girlfriend, that person girlfriend, or this person did this, that person house. All those things does not solve the issues. You know, we don't waste our time here just to talk about those things, because we'll never solve the issues. We need to talk about substantive issues. Thank you.
Yes, so that's it. We'll be definitely, the diving into substantive issues and those issues that matter most, those issues that we all technically believe that will be able to move the motherland and forward. And that's what we all want. We want to see how well the motherland can be improved. We want to see how well the motherland can be taken to another level. Mr. Cannon, over to you for the next 2-3 minutes. Then we will join God.
Yes, you know, I don't want to go there with the last caller, right? But what I was discussing first was you know, the same government taking over broken economy and not being able to deliver, right? So again, when you take over a country, right, what you do is to fill in the gaps, and you don't want to keep going back blaming the past regime. You come as a government, you start from where the previous government ended, right? And then you improve on and then move forward. So if we say government officials in the past used to go out of the country for treatment, granted, what are we doing now as a people, as a country, so that at least we start treating ourselves in Liberia? Those are the issues this government has failed to address, right? Madam,
are we still talking about the economy?
No, just before you key in, Gus, you know, Dakpannah made some statement, and you know, and I guess it's in line with those statements that range of statement, varieties of issues. So I guess Cannon is just
we are discussing, like the brother said, we are discussing.
No, but here's the problem, my brother. After this brother has done speaking, if I come on to speak and touch everything that he touched, basically you're gonna give me another 20 minutes myself. Then in the end, what did we get to? You know, let's keep it close. Let's keep it to the point. What did they do economically that was wrong? Then we go to the next topic. You know, can we do that, Mr. Connor?
Okay. So
my brother,
Gus and Zach, that's what we were doing. Where we just giving, you know, like 2-3 minutes to each panelist, you know, to come down. Connor, you get the next 1 minute.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Before Mohammed come in, let's take the other caller here. We got a caller here.
Okay.
Caller, welcome, and name where you calling from?
My name is Aaron Paul. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Go ahead, put your question.
I wanted to comment on one of the panelists made a statement about Minister Toure and were flown to Turkey and they left the driver in Monrovia. First of all, if you go to a hospital, the local conditions, okay, before the leg refer. Sometimes I don't even understand why some of these people come on air to even have like panelists, because sometimes they don't even know what they're talking sometimes. Because if they assess the condition of everybody that was involved in an accident and found out that the minister and his wife condition were more serious and they needed further treatment, they will recommend that. If the driver condition was as worse as then, they will tell the driver, oh, take this and go home and come back for treatment. Simple as that. Did you even ask to see or to know what happened? Or you guys just want to politicize everything? Do you know somebody even go to the town to do something? They want to politicize it. That's my comment I want to make. Some of them need to really analyze things before they come out here and just feel out worse things. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Hey,
no caller here, so I go back.
Let me conclude on that again.
Yes.
Again, they have those folks have dropped the ball again on that. You want to convince us that Samuel Toure and his wife condition were what? Maybe worse than the driver and the security. How did you arrive at that? How did you arrive at that?
Well, we assume
the incident that occurred.
Medical practitioner. Again, like your brother said.
Let me learn, my brother.
But wait now, when you say we assume, wait, I come in, Gus. Yeah, Gus. Yeah, Gus. Yeah, Gus.
Let me learn, my brother. Let me learn. You will come in. You will come in. Again, that's the same hypocrisy we're talking about here. Improve the medical system in our country. Let everybody get treated here. All right? You can't come and tell us in our offices that, oh, Samuel Toure and his wife, their condition was bad, then the driver and the security, so they flew them out of the country. Yo, come on, man. We're in the 21st century. Again, they have failed. And again, every time they go back, the Salif government, this is where we have problem with them. You came with a very fine document to change everything that Madam Salif brought or worked on.
But let's not go to document. Let's go to the economy.
That's what we're discussing, my brother. We're discussing everything. What I'm saying here is those folks came to improve on what they met the country. And up to present 5 years, Samuel Toure is still flying out of the country, going for treatment. Then you want us to sit here and believe that, yeah, because his condition was
that
bad.
Is not economy now, though. We're talking the health sector. Let's do the economy, bro.
Dakpannah, Mr. Moderator, you got to take
okay, so,
okay. You can't keep interrupting me, bro, Gus.
Okay. Gus. You know, can I only have a minute? Gus? Gus,
I give Gus the time. Let him make his point.
You know, I mean, Gus. Maybe
you want to discuss. So y'all give me the time. Let him bring. Let's discuss the economy.
Okay, again, and so I mean, let's turn to Gus. According to you, I mean, I guess, I mean, Kane has fully digested, you know, what he had, you know, on his template. So we will technically move on to Gus. But Gus, you know, just before you came on, and we have been discussing a number of issues, corruption in the government. Why is it that the we administration cannot go ahead to what to do what thorough investigation? Move ahead with investigation conduct, because they are saying that the guys or the LSLE government somehow are corrupt. So it's just better to do some you know, investigation and the rest of it. And we were also looking at development across the country infrastructure wise, you know. So when I said we were looking at a number of issues, just in a nutshell, in a snapshot, I mean, just those are things, you know, we're looking at. And later on, the issue of Samuel Toure and accident came into the limelight. Why is it that Toure and his wife, you know, they were flown out of the country, and that the driver and others will be dead, you know. But I don't know when it comes to that. And Dakpannah and others are saying that, I mean, it's partly because medical reports that the condition of Toure and others was worse. But I guess it should be and healthcare authorities and practitioners who should be telling us, and not politicians. So let's listen to Gus, who definitely will be speaking to us right now. But Gus, could you begin with introducing yourself, Gus, and where are you talking from right now?
Okay, this is Gus Korma. I'm calling from Illinois. Actually, I'm participating from Illinois.
Okay.
Say again. So here's the thing. My biggest disappointment with us Liberians is this.
Yep.
You just said 5 different topics. And all of these 5 different topics, we've been talking about it for like 4 years. It doesn't make any sense to me. Where I work, if that's all I was doing, I don't get paid. We have something new every day. We want to discuss an issue that is hurting us so we can find out how to fix it. For instance, I was on a panel with the brother Connor yesterday. The same talking point he's talking about today was what he was talking about yesterday. So what does that tell me? It tells me he just opposed this government so bad in Josh Weah that he cannot even try to educate the audience on how we can fix it. We're talking about even the accident. If you're talking about an accident, if you want to criticize the government, I would find evidence proving that this driver was in ill position, was sick, was not recovered, is hurting. And Samuel Tua and his wife is laying down somewhere getting the best treatment. Because that's what I would do in America, because then I have a supporting argument to bring to us. But we will not do that. When we talk about the economy, we will now talk about how Liberia does not even have an economy because we import everything. Everything we get in that country is imported. Okay, you talk about our economy as a whole. You don't. Everything is subsidized, or the international community has to give us money for us to even meet our budget half the time. Okay, we have to tax everything. All of our concession, everything we do is concession. We have no partnership. You want to talk about economy? You don't have a partnership. You don't have a factory. You don't have anything in your country. What jobs have any of these have we created over since 2005? What jobs have we created? Then we come on this platform and talk about economy. Do you understand what economy is? It's not just getting the money. How are we making this money? I'm not an economist, but one thing I know is this. In this country, one of the first things I learned, how things work. When you understand how things work in this country, there is no reason why you'll be left behind. We know in Liberia, I don't care who the next president is, it can be Jesus Christ. In this situation, we are not going to go anywhere.
Mr. Akwe, that will hold Brother Gus there for one second.
Go ahead.
That take this caller.
Okay. Gus.
Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Hello, Dakpannah.
Hi.
My name is Miss Josephine Campbell from Iowa, Des Moines.
Okay, Merry Christmas. Go ahead and put the
Merry Christmas to every one of you on this line.
Go ahead.
It was just a special caller that I listened to, and I want to respond to. When people in an accident, we that work in the medical field, the title report is the kind of report will take you out of the country. That report will make you to stay in the country. They will not just take any patient in the hospital and take the person out with all the title report. My people, your ship President Weah. So please, I think how old is Liberia? And since Liberia being Liberia, you look at Liberia now and look at 100 plus years ago. In 5 years, the nation changed. The things are not safe for almost 200 years. They're giving a little credit. It's a problem that you need. And I appreciate President Weah. So they get place now to go, holiday to go celebrate themselves, enjoy themselves. So they on the night to do their homework. And my brothers and sisters, I never used to go to college. Now they got the opportunity to go there and just register. Everything will not be bread and butter now. After 100 years, almost 200 years. You know who are what peace, where our country go power. 12 years in power and 5 years in power. Who was supposed to take the king say I wanted to take? former President Henry Jefferson, went to higher than a president. They take Barack Obama then went. When she came back to Liberia, what she did for Liberia is zero. Look at 5 years. A 5-year-old child will not even be able to express themselves right now. Then please, all Liberians, we've been through some of us were small when we left our country. Then please think about Mama Liberia. Then love any person that we get there. When we don't like it, you not go to the bar and take them out. People going and see that person president. We are man. The white that don't do nothing are helping Liberians. You see that? I beg of you. Every one of us. Now we try to look for our former president, the president, and he can still tell it. So please don't leave president. We are letting him do a job. When he not qualified, your 2023 is already here. You're kicking out with the Bangladesh. You please start talking to them man like nothing. Some of us there when we're on refugee camp. The whole I met for here was so mad. They still there when we need food to eat or brown camp. So according to that eat but bring your own water. You get money to buy water.
Okay. All right.
So that's all I want to say. Thank you, Baba. They follow you, but we stay there number now.
Yes.
Come on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
it.
it.
Let's go for so they say 2023 here. You know, all go and work.
Mm-hmm.
We are not people that don't like it.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. So yes, we just listened to that caller from Iowa. And right there, and I guess what she's saying, I mean, directly is that, I mean, gives the government, I mean, some space, some time, and the rest of it, and that if you technically do not elect the government, it's always better to do it, I mean, through the ballot boxes. So, but some of the things, you know, we are doing here. I mean, it's not about showing hate or expressing some hate to the government and the rest of it, but it's about reminding the government of some of the things, I mean, it says it was going to do. They were definitely going to do. So let's move back to the man, Garth Coleman, who was somehow lecturing us, and just before that call came in. And Mr. Coleman, it's over to you.
Yeah, thank you. And again, good description. You can call it a lecture or whatever, but what I'm trying to remind us of this, the issues that we have, and like the lady said that, if you listen to her tune, she's been around a while, okay? The issues that we have are serious issues that we have one chance, one great opportunity to alleviate a lot of the issues even this government is going to struggle to even get in the next 6 years, even if they win. Okay, we had an opportunity in the first 12 years. It's called rebuilding. This is why we have so much money come to us. You look at Iraq. When they took down Saddam Hussein and tore the whole country up, they rebuilt it. What did we do for rebuilding in our society? Yesterday, I was online with this brother, and I told him the same thing. People that are older than me remember the lamp coals, the bomb mines, all those places that we have. Those were gainful employment for the ordinary Liberian people. Do we have those today? We saw all of our All Blacks. No oil, nobody digging or exploring. You know, what are we depending on, my people? Everybody work in government? Don't you think this is why there's such a proliferation of hate among us? If I don't agree with Mr. Conner, I should hate Mr. Conner. Every time I see him on the show, I just can't agree with him. You know why? It's because we don't have job in our country. Here, I don't care how difficult it gets. You and I can go work at 7-Eleven, Sunny Farm, whosoever you want to call it. Until we have those things, I don't want anybody to go sit down in a classroom and come and lecture me about economics. Because if you do, you will understand that you have to have those things in place in a country for you to be able to actually move anything forward economically. Right now, all we're doing, we're just going hand to mouth. We are basically like people on welfare here. We're waiting for the end of the month for somebody to cut us a check. There is no finance minister in that country that haven't had the challenges Samuel Tua had himself. I remember my brother Amara Kone, all the issue they had. Okay, even the flying out of the country. Those things happen in poor country like ours, where we, the citizens, because of taking sides, we don't want to hold people accountable. Like I told the brother yesterday, the issue we have in education is terrible, because until we can have system in place where every primary school has some kind of a curriculum that they have to follow, we ain't going nowhere. Okay, you can do all the YFE all you want until people can be smart, can be ready to go to college. What good is it? You see what I'm saying? So that's the point I want to make. I just want us to keep it at that. We are not messed up in the stuff the brother mentioned. This is what politicians do. I hope all of us that are coming here are beyond politics. You know, so the people that are listening to us can say, you know what, that young man over there, Mr. Connor, man, you know, he was not about politics. He was trying to mention concrete things that happen and how can we resolve it and fix it. And that way, even if you're campaigning for someone else, I'm able to listen to you and say, even though I suppose we are or whosoever, I like the idea he mentioned there. You know what I'm saying? And that's just all I'm saying. So thank you. You guys can go on.
Yeah, but kind of just before you leave, you know, I mean, you're still here. I mean, you have watched, I mean, and we are leading the country for 5 years. In your view, do you think, do you believe that we have what it takes to really move the country forward? Talk to me about that.
Okay. Given where we are today, yes. I truly believe so. Okay. And if you want me to, yes. And here's the
There are
thing.
those who there are those who technically may not agree with you, Mr. Kuban, because nowadays all you hear from the country, loud, thunderous cries from across the country, and in fact, a broken economy, a situation where people hardly have it to place food on the table. Children, thousands of them, continue to remain out of school, and yet we are speaking, and that I mean that we are still have what it takes to pull the trigger to move the country forward. And I just listened to Shelton Duo. Shelton Duo is just from Liberia. In fact, he has stayed in the country here in the U.S. for less than 6 months. And Shelton was listening to and Dakpannah, and he cried, you know, and you know that, oh yes, I mean, there's so much crime in the country, and there's growing insecurity as a result of bad and terrible governance.
Okay, so listen, I would be honest with you. The reason why even the people on the CDC, even though I believe President Weah can do a better job, I have been one of their biggest critics. Okay. One of the reasons why Liberia suffers again, the lack of system in place in how we do things. Again, the economic situation, you're not providing job, but you just want the economy to get better. It doesn't work like that. So prior, Shelton will tell you, during Madam Salif time, most Liberians don't realize you have people bringing money into you. When those people left, there was nothing put in place. So when they left, that ordinary Liberians can have it. The people that didn't have money in those times, they don't have money yet still. The people that have money that was working in those days, today they don't have it either. So this is where when you hear the cry, we also have a country again where you didn't put a foundation down. When the United Nations left, when you left, I mean, basically then you had, how you call it? What's the last pandemic here? COVID. You have all of those things that happen. Look at America here, where we are in America. How difficult was it for people? Look, let me tell you, I'm one of the blessed ones. I know people in my neighborhood. I live in a very affluent neighborhood. And there were people here that lost their jobs, lost their whole home. It happens. But in Liberia, the problem is not only were we depending on all of this United Nations stuff, The new government came in. They were busy worried about you, just like the man in the candy store, right? They were busy worried about themselves and even forgot about running a government. I would agree with that. And this is
Okay.
where some of the
And
challenges
yet,
came in place.
and yet you are still,
Yes. So now let
pounding
me
that.
tell you what happened. Yes, exactly.
And,
So
and yet you are still pounding that we are has what it takes to lead a nation.
correct. So
God,
then what happened was, listen now. So the
Let's
first
give
two
him
years, the
chance.
scrutiny.
God, let's
Listen.
give God's chance. We'll come to you, Conan.
So the first 2 years, they messed up. Again, they were
Okay.
like a kid in a candy store. I call it the poor man syndrome. It's like the NBA style. When they first sign their contract, they buy the big houses, all their friends, fancy car, everything. Then they realize quickly that that money doesn't last. If you get hurt today and you sign a 3-year contract and you bought everybody $1 million houses, you think you're gonna after 5 years you don't have another contract? You think you can survive? No, you can't.
No.
So we are in them. I will be honest with you. That first 2 years, when you look at it, all of the challenges they had, it was everybody trying to fill their pockets. Everybody trying to live a lifestyle that they shouldn't be living, because if they don't sustain the government, they cannot maintain that. But look what we are in them did. They found out they had no option. They had to get into the little IMF thing. You look at what we went from that first 2 years to today, what they're doing, even passing the compact. Even you look at our macroeconomic situation, we're far better off than countries in our region. Let's be honest. We are on a better trajectory. You look at even during those first 2 or 3 years, were the rest of the world even interested in inviting Mr. Weah? We all say here, America was never going to let Weah come here, correct? Today, when you see his engagement, what does that all tell you? People are realizing that this man, yes, he failed the first couple of years. They have put their acts together and they're getting better. They're also getting guided, which Madam Salih government was heavily guided. Shelton would tell you every ministry, some of us been going to Liberia every year or so since 2005. Every ministry was littered with expatriates that was working in those ministries to be able to help the government so things can function correctly. But when Mr. Weah and them came in, like I said again, it was jolly, jolly. But again, that's what happens with poor people mentality. Everybody just worry about themselves. They don't realize that if you don't have the government functioning, guess what? You will not have a job. But look, after 3 years, they started doing well. And I'll be honest with you, they are doing better now than they did in the first 2 years. And I think, given another term, I think they'll do better, because if we the Liberians make a mistake by switching and going to someone else, I don't see how that someone else is going to fix this country, because we are going to be delaying ourselves again.
We are going to be delaying ourselves again. The last 3 words of God's command, and yet he definitely believes that we has what it takes, pulling the trigger when it comes to sustain economic growth and national development. And he is saying precisely that it's better to keep we are there. Mohammed Khan, where do you stand on this one?
You see,
Shelton Duo. But let's move on to Mohammed Khan first, who will be telling us, where do you stand on this one? Does we invite have what it takes to move the country forward? Talk to me, man.
the first answer is no. And brother Goss, I'm sorry to say, you lay out some very beautiful points, but then later you start to contradict yourself, right? There was a little bit of contradiction. Again, we has failed already. All right.
Yeah.
You just explained it. The gentleman's first year. Let's look at this, right? You start a class. First period, second period, third period exam, fourth, fifth, sixth exam, right?
Yeah.
Second, third, fourth period, you flunk. You score 40, 50, 40, 50. Exam, first semester exam, you failed. Then fourth period, fifth period, you expect yourself to pass. What kind of magic you going to perform right there? So you telling us where came, they brought the corruption cap, he and his cabinet. They almost literally looted this country. All right? Now, if you turn it around to tell us, say, those folks, they have what it means to change things around, to turn things around, and put this country back on track where Madame Salif left it. That's where the
Mr. Akwe?
Yeah, Jeff, Colonel Jeff Flowing, yeah.
This is where the confrontation
That hold you there for 1 minute. Let's take the caller.
Okay. Colonel, but we technically now we are looking at whether if we are house what it takes to lead the country. Let's listen to that caller.
Yeah, Mr. Colonel, you know we love to make it interactive now. The caller.
Go ahead.
You gotta take them, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome, caller. And where you calling from?
Thank you very much, Dakpannah, and the rest of the panelists tonight. My name is David Conan, calling from New Jersey.
Your name again?
Contribute.
His name is Abraham Conan. Abraham Conan. I want to say welcome and Merry Christmas.
Okay.
The same to you guys, and I hope you guys having a great. I don't know what part of the location you guys are, but I mean the state you guys are. But
we are on top of the world.
Christmas is going great for you guys, and I'm glad that we are all celebrating Middle Day.
We are broadcasting for on top of the world.
Okay. That's great. Good to hear that.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing, we gotta be authentic to the Liberians when we come to the discourse, especially with regards to the prevailing situation in our country. Authenticity matters. We gotta put aside our sentiments and whatever dislike we got for a particular leader. We gotta speak to the point and speak the facts of issues. Here's it. I had the panelists on the show, and they were just speaking randomly of issues. For instance, you talk about the healthcare sector. We talk about the healthcare sector. And the fact of the matter is that a lot is being done currently with regards to the healthcare sector. All right?
Yeah.
You have government. I know people would not want to reference those things. But there's always a need to make comparative analysis on issues. Reason being, if you don't know your problem, you will never solve your problem. Okay? And if there's a leadership in that country, post-war leadership for 12 years that has $16 billion infused in the economy as a budget support, 16 billion with a D infused in the economy. And you got nothing authentic to show for it, especially problem among the healthcare. Then you got a party. This comparison needs to be made. Now you got a leadership less than 6 years, 5 years or less than 5, so to speak. And they got things to show you addressing the healthcare need of the country, where they can point to at least 3 erected hospitals and ongoing. And by the way, if you don't have specialized doctors in the country for a particular situation, it's important that people seek medical attention elsewhere. You had a president in that country for 12 years. Every year she came to the United States for common medical checkups. She didn't stay in Liberia to do it. Why do people keep moving the goalposts? All right? As we speak, just yesterday, the vice president was on the show, and she threw the word in Liberia that come the early part of this year, which is between January and March, you're going to have 10 specialized doctors that the government sent abroad. They'll be going back home. Specialized in particular area. It could be gynecologists, it could be ophthalmologists, and whatever it is. So that at least dedicated on that, she even stated that based on the improved health sector, she would in fact conduct an annual health care in the county at the Jackson Hospital. So they will come only show that it's just a bad fight. You just randomly, oh, the man is not doing anything. The man is not doing anything. The economy of that country was in a free fall when this government took over. I didn't know when you got called recession. That economy was in recession when this government took over. And they have stabilized it. You had an inflation for almost 37% now, then you talking about between 9 and 6%. You have neighboring countries that got inflation at 50%. Ghana, in case in point, that we all use to reference every day. The Ghana economy is at 50% inflation. So when people come to the discourse, they should be authentic. They should put aside the sentiments and then be authentic on issues. Yes, you can hold the government feet to the fire on issues that they are related on, but equally point out the good things that they are doing. And to continue dismiss this, oh no, they said they were going to do X, Y, Z, so let's forget about the past. You can't forget about the past. Take for instance the University of Liberia. The private government came there. As you speak today, you have buildings at that university. I'm a product back at University of Liberia. I speak to you, that's my alma mater over there. All right? You got bullet marks on the buildings at the University of Liberia. Those that's from one of the buildings during the year of Mother Salih. And people come in and just dismiss all of it. No, you can't make comparison. Now today they want the third government to want to build all of the university buildings over there, and then to do things that were not done when you have budgetary support in $216 billion, you got nothing to show for it. We need to start being disingenuous on this score. That's my concern, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
And I'll keep the chipping as time progresses, okay?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And we'll also try to bring you as a guest too one day.
Okay, so
I appreciate it.
Okay, so that was that call up from New Jersey. If I would say singing the praises of George Manan Weah, suggesting that Weah has what it takes. And yeah, he's singing the praises of Weah, and he's saying directly that Weah has what it takes, to move the country forward. I really did not, and fully captured when he spoke of the University of Liberia. I was there and I graduated in 2014-15. I knew at the time how the university was. Coming from Liberia College and doing mass communication and the rest of it, I knew exactly how the university was. And I still have people complaining from the University of Liberia when it comes to basic internet services. And those are things I can bring people on the show to be able to talk about that. But I hope to have that particular call on the show where we can be able.
I will ask you some questions about University of Liberia after Khan is done.
Yeah, so that we can be able to talk about. We move back to Muhammad Khan. And Mr. Cannon was on the other side of the act, yes, and he's telling us precisely that we lacks the ability, that we does not have that capability to move an entire country forward. Back to Mr. Cannon.
And I still stand by that.
Yeah.
And before I proceed, I just want to say this to Brother AB. His facts does not mean it's factual what we're discussing here. His facts belongs to maybe to him until he can convince some of us where his facts really comes from, right? Because until Samuel Tuer and his lives can treat themselves in Liberia, the healthcare system in Liberia is still poor. Building hospitals and just keeping them that way with no equipment, no trained doctors, it doesn't mean that we have improved or we have reached a certain stage. Where is the 14th medical hospital? It's right there. Why couldn't Samuel Tuer go there? So what we are doing here is to hold this government feet to fire until they do what they promised the Liberian people to do. So if we criticize them or we critique them, doesn't mean we hate them or we've been disingenuous. So I just want to clarify that to him. So to Brother Goss,
yep.
Again, I don't want to call you sedition. I don't know your affiliation, right? You are a Liberian and you have right to defend or
Up until recent, I couldn't vote in Liberia because I'm a United States citizen, and I've always said that.
Yeah, so I know I don't. For me, I don't attack people based on party, right? I attack the issues and you know So again, President Weah has failed. In my view, he has failed because almost 6 years now. 6 years, not 6 months. Government comes into play, and sometimes in 3 months, in 3, 6.
Let me get you corrected. Almost 5 years. January.
Okay.
Going to 6 years. Let's just put it that way. So again, I will conclude by saying that this government, in my mind, they have failed. They don't have what it takes to move this country forward. They don't. You will disagree with me. Whosoever will come and disagree with me, we need technicians that will move the economy, not just the economy, that will provide jobs, that will,
But the last administration brought technicians from America, my brother.
What?
The last administration brought technicians from America. And
why are you forgetting to know? Why are you forgetting to know before I take my leave, Omer? Just look at the time Madame Salif and her government took over in the country. Where was our economy? What was our GDP? All right, this country was like literally. This country was dead.
That's like saying before.
Gus, let's give him the time. And when he's speaking,
Liberia was completely out of in a different I would say different situation. Madame Salif came. They put in place system. They built the foundation again for the next government to come and start from where they stopped. This is what I keep saying. Madame Salif, with all the corruption that went on in your administration, they did something. Look at the LCC today. Look at the LCC today.
Who did she prosecute?
Institutions that were put in place.
Who did she prosecute?
I rest my case for now.
No,
so wait, and Gus, let's just hold it there. Definitely we'll come back to you. Then we'll ask all the questions. So Mr. Cannon is on the other side of the arc is suggesting that Weah doesn't have it. In fact, he lacks all the abilities of a good leader, and that the country, according to him, is bleeding and bleeding so fast, and that it's just better to replace the current administration. So Shelton Duo is the next panelist we will definitely be moving to, and Shelton is just from the motherland. Shelton, welcome back again, and you are just from Liberia. Talk to us. Does Weah have what it takes to lead a country?
Thank you, Brother Akwe, and let me say welcome again, Brother God. You see, my dear brother, President Weah has shown Liberian already that he doesn't even want to be a president for Liberia any longer.
Okay. What are the indications?
Thank you. You can see, you and I can vividly see what is going on in Liberia right now. You see, like before I really come to that, you see, most of those sedition that we knew before, even some of them I just called on the show recently. When they called this time around, they say even though we know them to be sedition, but now they don't want to be sedition now in public because the government have failed them. Okay? Brother Akwe, you promise your children to give them Christmas gift. Okay? Then time comes, they ask you, Papa, what a gift you promised to give him. Then you say, oh, and last year your mommy said, she was coming to give you a gift and she doesn't give you God a gift. Is that a justification there? No. That's what God and all of God are doing right now. Okay? You say the 2 year the God took in opposition, they did not learn anything. Nothing absolutely the God learned when they were in opposition. Because
Shelton, you are just on Liberia. Tell us a bit about roads. I mean, we are hearing that roads being constructed, but we are hearing about medical facilities and the rest of it, about schools being built. I mean, what is it? Give us a picture of what's unfolding there.
You see, my brother, like I always told you, not every time, some of them, when we sit on the platform to critique the government, like what Mohammed said, it doesn't mean that we 100% against. There is no patriotic Liberian that will continue to criticize or that will continue to judge, criticize their leader in every direction. Yes, I must admit, when President came to power recently, those feeder roads, military roads, they are laid in trouble.
Okay.
Those
where?
From Oro Market to Trouble.
Okay.
From Oro Market to Smart Road. Even though there are argument that those projects, President said he left, those projects until 10 years expire. Even though I did not subscribe to that.
Yeah, Shelton, we got one more caller here.
Okay, Shelton, just hold yeah, okay.
Caller, welcome. Your name and where you calling from?
Well, thank you, Dakpannah. My name is Walter Keller, calling from Connecticut.
Merry Christmas.
Wish you guys the same. Many, many happy returns.
All right, his name is Wilton Ketter, calling from Connecticut. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Ketter.
Yeah, I've been following the conversation. Yeah. And like my brother, let me just make a disclaimer. I'm not a physician. Like the brother said, people come here and say, because of the fear of the government, they are not physicians. No. From day one, I've been saying, I'm not a physician because I've never joined CDC party. I've been in America for a while. I just went to Liberia in May. I was in Liberia for 3 weeks. But I support this president and I support the government of Liberia. I heard
okay, so let me hold you there. Let me hold you there.
Mr. Keller, hold on. Mr. Akwe, he will not hear you. But go ahead, I will relay the question to him.
Oh, okay. But I mean, let him tell us exactly.
No, hold on. Mr. Keller, hold on. Go ahead, Mr. Akwe.
Yeah, let him tell us exactly. I mean, what are those things he is saying? What is he saying that that are bringing the changes that that is pulling him towards where that he is suggesting that we should cling and should continue to cling onto the presidency and the Liberians should give him a second term.
Okay, he's saying that you should tell us what are those things that you see, those good things, the good performances of WIA that you are seeing that make you to believe that WIA should continue being president of Liberia.
Right. So this is the thing, right? When President WIA took office, and let's talk about the health system. When President WIA took office, the first 1 or 2 weeks in office, he and his wife visited the JFK hospital. And there's a tape to prove that the hospital was dilapidated. The hospital was beyond recognition. The places the president walked through, it was complete disgrace for a government who stayed in power for 12 years that had all the support that could not even fix JFK. JFK was declared, but we saw makeshift bed that was used by patients, no mattress on them. We saw all this stuff in JFK. The president took he was feeling so discouraged and it was bad when they showed that on TV. It was just his first week in office. Today, JFK has a brand new trauma center, operating theater, and there are a lot of development going in JFK with modern medical machinery there. 2, you see the new Emory Hospital, sophisticated to world class standard. all equipment all over the place. All right, equipment all over the place in the hospital. And like the brother said, Mr. Conan, the vice president came on phone yesterday, and she shared pictures of the hospital, man spending in Babu County. All right, you see the new redemption hospital they constructed on this president. You see this president sending people abroad. He sent about 25 or more Liberians abroad to specialize in different areas to come back and serve the country. But brother, when we destroy our country for 14 years, destroying most of our our learned people like doctors and lawyers and other stuff, we don't expect Liberia to just bounce back like that. Even those who are being allegiance for 12 years, who will have war. And just like this, taking over the country. Most of our people got old. They got older. Our doctors, they got older. They died. They were not functional anymore. And they took over. And so, while she was there, most of our Liberians here, they had to bring us back from abroad. They went down and they plundered the economy too. All right, because the money they were making here, they couldn't go over and they received small money. So at the end of the day, what they had to do to corrupt the system and they point us back here. Because when we have taken over, there was a big deficit in all area of our society. Big deficit, all area. And so you have to fill it. You understand? One of the Liberian people don't understand is to destroy, you can do it in the 3 of an eye. But to rebuild, it will take a long time. More especially our society that you have almost 55% of the people illiterate. You understand? So it will take a very long time to actually see what this president is doing and making impact in the lives of Liberian people, because we are not ready to build our own country. This president is doing his best, but Liberians are not ready. Because if we are ready, we all will put things on that and make sure we make this country a better place. But we're not ready where we just sit down and criticize. Now look at the president. For the first time in our history, God, simple thing like that, Liberia never saw it before. When you drive in Liberia on a Saturday, when you see Invisible Park, you be like, wow, it's like maybe somebody gets through from heaven and God by everybody there, and then amazed to see that person. How big, how crowded that place is every day. Every day. Because that people here for those things. You haven't seen it. This president brought it. Another thing in Liberia that people don't understand. Brother, we have one road leading from Central Monrovia, which is Broad Street, going straight to Painesville. No, you don't have to take going straight to Painesville, and you can take the other one and go to SPD Sport Complex. You don't have to take all the road. They got feeder road on that 15. All right. Let's try to wrap it up, Mr. Keto. That you can take, and the brother, the journalist over there said he was at the university when he was there, the university was not teaching guys. People were staying online to do registration. Today, you don't have that. Even though the internet is a little bit shady, but at least one is better than zero. We are talking that brothers that have satellite space. You understand? So we're going to get there, and things going to be okay if we all put hands on deck and make this country a better place. Okay, Mr. Keda, thank you.
Okay, that was Mr.
Akwe.
Yeah, and Mr. Keda,
before you come in,
yeah.
Mr. Akwe, before you come in, we got a breaking news, even though it's sad, but it's a breaking news. We just got information that the political leader of the People Liberation Party, Dana Kese, is dead.
Oh.
That's the news we are receiving. Yeah. So you can go ahead. That's the information to provide. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, that's a sad one, man.
Was there in prison? Was there in during? Because I know they had him arrested for a little bit. I wasn't sure if he's on.
Yes.
Well, I will check some people right now, and I will see maybe we can do some confirmation.
Okay. Oh, that's a sad one, definitely. Dana Cassell. Oh.
If it is true, again, you know, it's sad. Politics aside.
It is. It's true. It's confirmed, my brother. It's
confirmed.
It is
confirmed? Wow. That's sad. Oh, man.
Okay, so yes, this is the Dakpannah Show, and my name is James Hakoe. I'm here with a number of panelists, and Mohammed Kanan, Shelton Duo, and Gus Coleman. And we are looking at issues from the motherland. That caller, yes, was trying to add some sugar to the tea of George Weah. And Shelton Duo was earlier adding some durable and trying to make and point some sand into Weah's Gary. So, Mr. Duo, we continue with you, and you are just from the motherland. You are just from Liberia. What do you think? We are technically lacks the ability to lead an entire country, to lead a population of more than 5 million people. And why? And should Liberians never again think of giving him, and the mantle of authority to lead the nation? Speak to the Dakpannah Show.
Yeah, Brother James, like our influence when they talking, like I just told you, we have shown to Liberia that he doesn't want to become president any longer, and those you can see all the indicators all around. You see, let me say this: those guys who continue to be clapping for President Weah, are the people who fooling him. Okay, and President Weah, some of us, I think it is better that we that sometimes can look in your face to tell him the truth. I think we are the real friends. Okay, look what is happening, Brother James.
Shut up. Yeah, the call they want you to talk. I got another caller on the line.
Yeah, I will stay talk.
Yeah, okay. Shelton will come up, but let's get that caller. Let's take
this caller. Yeah, because we want it down, so let's take this caller. Caller, welcome. You know where you calling from?
Oh yeah, hello, this is Myra Boy. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Which part of Minnesota? Minneapolis or Brooklyn Park or Brooklyn Center? Where?
Minneapolis, Brooklyn Park.
Merry Christmas.
Wish you many more years to come, my brother.
Go ahead, my dear brother.
Thank you. I'm following the show, and again, a great opportunity to speak on your show. Mm-hmm. And I listened to so many of the panelists and even callers, and sometimes I listen to people talking about the good job of President George Weah and all the good things that he's doing in Liberia. And I want to first of all say I appreciate for every president that comes, whatever they do, we should appreciate them for the work, that they are doing. I know Ellington did hers, and CDC criticized, even though she was doing her best, but they kick her out or they keep bringing the party out because CDC didn't believe that the government would be the best government that would do more for the Liberian people. And when I listen to people talking about all of these things, and when you criticize them, they make it seem like whatever they've done in Liberia is the first time ever that when light comes on in Liberia, for them in their entire life, they never saw light before in Liberia. So they make it seem like those are our first time seeing light. When they build a road in Liberia, they make it seem like this is our first time seeing a road in Liberia. Wow, what a road is this? I'm not saying it's not good to praise the leader, but if you begin to make, you start making it seem like this is the first road that ever been built in Liberia, or first hospital, then the question comes to you, what happened to the executive manager who built it? That's not President Weah. What happened to Broad Street? Who built it? That's not President Weah. What happened to Wheeling Drive? Who built it? That's not President Weah. What happened to the University of Liberia? Who built it? That's not President Weah. What happened to Covington University? Who built it? That's not President Weah. So many things that is built in Liberia is not President Weah who built it. Other people built it, and President Weah is only adding on to it. So I just want to let these people know. Okay. When it comes to electricity doing nowadays in Liberia, just as when you see that light high goes off, that happens in Liberia before. That when light goes, it took a while for light to just go in Liberia before the war. You understand me? So I want people to understand that yes, indeed, let's give praise to the what praise is due, but let us not make it seem like we have never seen this before. Maybe for certain people, maybe yes, maybe it came from up in Tira, or maybe they were living a life that never saw life before, they never saw or could that role before. So for them, yeah, it's a big deal. Those people, I agree. But those who live in Monrovia all their life, still come there and make it seem like you have never seen this thing before. For me, I got a serious problem with them.
Okay.
I got a serious problem with them.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Another caller will come in, so perhaps that caller, you can call back now because when we go to shutdown will end his statement. So caller, you can call back. If you are following, call back. That will take you quickly before we go to shutdown. So yeah, so while we're waiting, caller, Mr. Akwe, I don't know whether you got this other research as it relates to the death of Dr. Cassell. Because I got it from a reliable source that he's dead. So I don't know whether
confirmed. Yeah, Connor says confirmed.
Okay. Okay, so he's dead.
Can you confirm it?
Yeah. Dr. Cassell just passed in Jersey a few hours ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what do you know the cause of death, Mohammed? Because I just saw you posting for the Christmas. I saw you post.
I don't know yet, but you know that Cassell been going through a lot with this court case that were hanging over him. You know, who knows? But for now, I cannot say here the cause of death. But what I know from a reliable source close to him, he passed away today, a few hours ago. That's all I can say for now.
Okay. So yes, I mean that's it. And that report just filter in that the political leader, I mean, and that the cell of the Liberia what?
PLP, right?
Yeah, the People Liberation Party, the PLP, and political leader Daniel Cassell definitely, I mean, is dead. So we hope to have another caller.
Yeah, so I'll take this caller and then we'll go to shutdown. I think it'll be the last call because we got to wrap up. Go ahead, caller. Let me know where you're calling from.
Dakpannah, this is Silver, man, calling from Seattle, Washington.
Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you, brother. Same to you.
Go ahead and put your points across.
Yeah, your opponents, I mean, are you hearing me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, my brother. You know, what I want to say here is that I'm just so sick and tired of hearing people questioning the ability of Judge Weah.
Okay.
Whereby Judge Weah were also born in a very problem they are questioning him about. But this is the challenge I want to pose to the two guys that I mean down there trying to criticize. I want to pose the challenge to them. But if they have any business or property in Liberia currently as we speak, that is beneficial to the citizen, that helping people, that try to make impact in people's life that costs 50,000 or more. I want to pose that challenge right now. That I want to bet $2,500. If any of them are down there shouting, trying to discredit Judge Weah, what is their investment in Liberia?
Their citizenship.
Can I say something to that?
No, I just want to know, bro, you see the problem here is from Jacob Junior Rambo days. We all just pointing our president. And this thing is not only about president. If you check our country now, foreigners are living better than even the typical Liberians. All right? This thing is collective, problem that we all have to get together and try to see how we can solve this problem. This thing is not about president. Where are the legislators? Where are the senators? Why you can't just talk about one person? Everything yesterday, we say, oh, she graduated from Harvard University. Oh, she do this. No, bring the mansion down. Like we actually repair mansion today. What the hell are these guys?
All right, people.
Is that yes or they are wearing the right senses?
Yeah, let's slow down. Let's tune down. Thank you.
No, this is not supposed to be like this, man. Dakpannah, man. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
So we are wanting that Curtis now.
Mr. Akwe, But I go, hold on. With the son of yesterday, we wind down at the time they call him.
No,
The
but
call
we
is
got to
dropped.
answer to this caller
Okay.
though. The last caller got to answer to him.
Who
Yeah,
there?
just write it
Hold
down.
on. The call on the line. The call on the line. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. They, yeah, hold on. I will take you, but you also call the line. You know that. Okay.
Several times for the number to call.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Welcome, caller. Welcome, caller. You know where you calling from?
My name is Lofa, and I'm calling you from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Call him
Thank
off.
you.
Call him off.
Hold on. God said I should cut you off.
Mama Judah said, why God's eating on the show? And the reason he calling for.
These guys, I can't get no free pass anywhere I go, but it's okay.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I will. He will get up and show and call me. I will not pick up my phone. I'll block him. But anyway,
before you talk, I will say that you are a good troublemaker.
I am.
Go ahead.
That's why I'm from Lofa County. But anyway, here's my thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the previous caller asking people of their investment in Liberia.
Yeah.
Let me ask that caller, right? Can you pay for their breath in the country that they had no decision about? The parents for whom they were born. Can he actually ask those parents why they were born in Liberia? Let me tell you something, Dakpannah.
Mm-hmm.
I call purposely tonight for this reason. No Liberian should have to have millions of dollars in the country to question her government for what they were hired to do. They are not, and I repeat, they are not. The government was hired. Every civil servant, every government official were hired. We are their employers. We are their employers. Dakpannah, I repeat, and I hate to sound redundant, but it is the truth that we are their employers. So we will not stop questioning their activities, and we question more of them when they're getting paid at our expense. Now, get this right. The government, why getting paid to do?
Why do they say you put your mouth where your money is?
You put your mouth where your money is has already been done. I paid them. My money is when my taxes, when the money, our natural resources are being used. The taxes from there is being used to pay this individual. That's where my money is. Dakpannah, I don't have to use my individual separate income for you to understand that my money is there. The government creates the enabling environment for me to invest more to help develop the economy. The government, again, I reiterate, the government creates the enabling environment for me to come back and add on to what I have already invested. That is my birthplace. When you're asked of your nationality, they are not questioning your tribe. It says Liberians. That is your place of birth. You have given enough. So guess what? The government is answerable to you. Nobody should come on here and ask anybody on your panel what have they contributed. That is not how you govern. This bad idea of understanding of loyalty is what killing Liberia. Thousands of United States citizens who are born in this country, raised in this country, ask their government for better or probably best governance, if they can get that. Don't ask the brother or sister what have they contributed. The government creates the enabling environment for people to value their contributions. What will it take for you to understand that all of us will not be equally equal? So all of us cannot contribute equally. You really think that I have contributed to Liberia as equal to that of Gus Kuma or even you, Dakpannah, who lived and went through all of the hard times? You really think we will equally contribute to Liberia? We will not equally contribute to Liberia, but we can equally hold our government accountable for the missteps so that they can govern accordingly. This nonsense must stop and should stop and will stop in order for us to get good governance in our country. Holding people accountable for their participation in national discourse is not the way to move Liberia forward. We all must be, held liable. I will close with this. Regardless of how you feel, whether you're wearing sedition, or whatever you may call yourself, I ask you tonight, look in your passports.
Hold it on.
Look at your nationality. It says Liberians. We are all one people. In order for us to move forward, we must hold ourselves accountable. We must hold our government accountable. And if people are not doing the right thing, let us accept constructive, which is what I heard tonight, constructive criticism of the government so that we can move Liberia forward. Thank you.
Okay, before you go, Mr. Lovaji, your media person, what have you gathered as relates to Dr. Cassian?
It is confirmed that, and to the family and friends of the late Dr. Cassell, we, again, say to the family that, we pray for the best for the family and, pray that his soul rest in perfect peace. I was on my show earlier tonight. I got a call and I authenticated the information that was provided to me.
Okay.
It is confirmed that Dr. Cassell.
All right, Mr. Lovaji, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, hold on right there. Hold on, Mr. Akwe. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Shall I get with?
Yes, Mr. Fala.
I think I need to make
everybody come on the show. I'm not a physician. I always say it. I knew Joe we are before you were on it. I knew Joe was very big up out of the. I knew Joe was very big up there, what there. So I am not a physician. I always do that. We all come according to what Julius said. We find Julius yes. Yes, we all are Liberian. We all hold our comment to the feet. But we don't instruct the people that are going to street. You call it a comment. You know, who criticism better than instruct the party man, their power, their work that's not holding the comment to their feet. In the great United States of America, we all hold the American citizenship. We don't get on the platform and force Joe Biden man, and force Joe Biden's sister, and force the representative into the offer. We don't do that. We go to the ballot pass, if we're not like that, we put in the old thing in Minnesota here.
Man,
and we put it out.
No one is cussing
So,
somebody.
criticism will always say, the only thing you hear from the people is I always say, the only thing you hear from them is the only thing you hear from them is George Weah. George Weah. And nobody is elected. And no citizens. The only walk around. It's what they consider a program for okay. Is it going in Cuba? They need to stop. I want to stop calling the president my power. And who are already elected and the seat that will go forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. I think we'll take any more calls. We will just
definitely
wrap up, Mr. Akwe.
Yes, so we are definitely going home now, and it was a nice show. And I wouldn't want and Connor to respond anymore. I mean, it's enough, Connor. And, the way he came down asking for some, investment that are being made by you and the rest of it. I mean, that was uncalled for. You can't do that. I mean, let's be frank. We are here making a request to our government, asking them, reminding them of things they said definitely they were going to do. Like, for example, we have said he was going to work and ensure that businesses or business owners do not serve as and spectators within their own economy. So if you begin to remind him about that, then people say, oh, yeah, you hate the government and the rest of it. And that's the problem or issue I have with some of them. And, they'll say, oh, you hate the man. You don't like the man.
No, my brother.
Yeah.
Honestly, Mr. Conan, anybody that question that idea, they must be living under the rock. Because even this government cannot defend that, right?
Yeah.
Madam Howard was asked that question yesterday. But that's what I'm talking about. Let's make it on those things. You say you're going to do this.
Yeah.
How far have you gotten? Even you say you started. How far have you gotten? Then the person cannot hide away from that. The personal stuff, again, all you create is this. You create defensive. Okay? When you get personal, people will start defending one another because what do? We protect, right? That's how we are. But you asked that question, Mr. Connor. There's nobody in the CDC that can tell you that they have done that, completed that. You know? So those are the things that we have to keep it at. Instead of they're stealing, they're doing this and that. When we are there, we say, well, you're stole too. Then you and I can't prove it. You can't prove it because Mr. Connor, like you said earlier, Madam Ellen Johnson put in all these mechanisms. They never prosecuted anyone. B-Boy 1, B-Boy 2, all of those things. Nothing happened. What did these people do? They went ahead, they continued the same thing. So who suffers? And they say when two elephants fight at grass can suffer. So the Liberian people, again, like the old man said earlier, everything we've been doing for almost 200 years, we don't want to lay the foundation. We want to just elevate from there to there. You can't build a house like that. Some president will have to start from square one. Whoever that would be, we have to keep holding their feet to the fire. And let's just not make it personal. That's just my thing. We make it personal because even the feeling in me that you want to defend. But Shelton, go ahead. I know you just came from Liberia. I think it would be nice for us to hear more from you as you're closing, because I really would like to hear more from you than me and my
Shelton,
brothers here.
Shelton, Duo, this is going to be your closing. And we all have like 1 or 2 minutes or so just to wrap around and just close. So I mean, you are in your the meso phase of your comment, and the ending of your comment or so. Tell us, about about it. It has to do with we are not having the wherewithal, the ability to lead the country. You get 1 or 2 minutes, and we just wrap on and we leave, and we join later on, maybe tomorrow or so.
Yeah, thank you, Brother James. And before I go to that, let me just say this quickly to the quarter before the last quarter. Look, I think it would be better for the quarter to be holding George Weah and other guys who are mismanaging their state resources accountable, okay? But if you come to me, a private citizen of me, who give him my view, then you say you want to bet me 2,500. I know you want to or what, I didn't know. But I don't
You
think
should
I
have
should be
had
the
him
one.
send it to Dakpannah so Dakpannah can hold it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know you want to, but yeah, it's a thing.
Before you continue, Dakpannah, the gentleman challenged us. Please challenge you to send you that money to find out if we got properties back home. Then you
I said for you, pa, sure.
No.
For you, pa, you eat that money because you get a lot of stuff back home.
The thing here is the gentleman is let's be real here. Even if Big Brother Kenny having to get about 50 or 100,000 property in Liberia, Big Brother Kenny is not managing the state resources of the general guy country. Why should he even go that route? Okay? So those are all trivial issues that don't
The
want to.
the parents right now the country Facebook is collective. So we shouldn't put it on only the president. It's collective.
Look, here is the thing, Dakpannah. I think I told you from the genesis of this discussion, I told you that we are not, saying that everything that been happening since 1847, is President Weah no. But President Weah knows that this is a generational problem from Joseph Jikin days up to present. But he created an avenue that when he gets there, he going to make things happen. So Everything that he said 2017 election is he is not doing that. We are under moral obligation as a citizen of Republic of Liberia to remind him, and that's what we are doing right now. All right. So I don't think that should be a justification to this is an old age problem. Also, he knows that it's an old age problem, but he told Liberian that he was going to do that, right? When they were in opposition, they told Liberian that President Seli was not doing the right thing. So we should give them look, Dakpannah, I got my degree in criminal justice with emphasis in sociology. Okay. If you come out to tell people, say, hey, give me your vote. In return, I will provide this. If you are not providing the social service or the social contract theory, the social contract agreement that is signed with, or if you're not going by A, then we, the citizen, will live with no option than to remind you, and we will continue to do that. Though we continue to say we are opposition, fine. Okay? What we like to see is to see the better Liberia. That today, a friend of mine who here and are on the same age cannot continue to be a beggar only because the government has strangulated him to survive. Okay? So I think those issues, I don't have to give more attention to that, but in my closing, Brother James, look, like you when you asked me about the intense of role connectivity, I said that the feeder role when President Weah came in power, they demonstrated it. We saw that. But what really agitating some of all is you cannot continue to run your government on social media, especially on Facebook. The President Weah takes picture with Joe Biden today, the entire world will know. When you do the one, everybody will know, which is good according to them. But what we want to see is practical reality. You call yourself borrow medicine. What happened to the RIA rule that have become a death trap today? What happened to Sani Kore rule? Since I can remember, since 2016, Manaselita, the people started our rule. Up to now, the rule had not been completed. But yeah, still, President Weah say is a powerful medicine. All right? Those are the things that people need to be addressing. But when we say it, then people say, oh, those people, they are opposition. They are this, that, they are that. Okay, yeah, we agree with opposition. What are you doing to even put smile on the faces of those same people who elected you 2017? Look at our country today. You talk about we don't have no evidence or concrete evidence that government officials have been involved into corruption, this and that. Dakpannah, you saw that Andrew, is that Andrew? Andrew, some kind of name.
The director of passport.
This guy was squarely involved into corruption. The government of Liberia tried the guy. According to them, they said he was vindicated. The American government say, hey, wait a minute. You guys are joking here. What happened? The American government sanctioned the same guy only because of the same corruption. Why those three guys, those three government officials that was sanctioned by American government? Why, if that all you really show that you are fighting corruption, why can you not challenge American government to bring the proof under your jurisprudence so that those guys can be tried? But yeah, now you say they are all allegations. Yeah, we know that allegation, but are you taking a substantive step that people will say, yeah, even though this government is trying to fight against corruption, if you have done that, then we will be the same point to clap for you. Where American people say, those guys, they are corrupt. Then you just sat there, you are not doing anything. So you are create an avenue for somebody, the old man who in Bokon Zero, the men are in Waterside, I don't know anything. You are create that kind of avenue to believe that what American government say it is true. That's what you are doing. But when you come to talk to them, people say, hey, the people, no, we are not against the government. We want to see a better Liberia so that some of us here today, when we go back home, or our brother back home that today say we can even sit down here, we say, hey, my brother, I'm trying to do one or two things. Can you please credit me from back home? That can happen. Okay? But the only problem, those guys back home, as soon your own country, when you leave from your own country, they were coming to America. You know how many of my friends then that were praising God for me? You leaving from your own country. Then somebody say, oh God for you. Ali, you are not in a kind of same thing. You know what? You know what it means? You know what it suggests? And you that you were complaining, I will continue to make the emphasis here. You were complaining when we have a counselor here the last time. How people back home they are begging, and in fact, because of the economy is not favorable, our people are trying to beg. You seeing Dakpannah today, you telling all that everything is good. What a contradiction, Dakpannah. Okay.
Okay. So okay, let me just hold Shelton do it with that, and Shelton, that was your closing or any comment or so. Let's move on to Dakpannah. Dakpannah, you can close. You get the next 1 minute 30 seconds to close. Then from you, we go on to Conan, and Gus will be the last. Then we close down and we just leave for the day.
Thank you, Mr. Akwe, and I appreciate you for moderating. You know,
Okay.
it's not screech for me because we know what you made of. You know, yeah, a state trained journalist, so we know that you are up to the task in doing these things. But I want to say the discussion is good. I also want to join Lofa Julius and rest of us to extend our deepest condolences to the family of Dr. Tana Kasia. Yeah, I don't know, it was so confusing because I saw he post this morning wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This morning, or maybe it was his office that issued that, but I saw it this morning on his Facebook page. But I want to say our deepest condolences to the family. I want to say that Kasia rest in peace. But the thing is this, Shaton, it will be in anybody wildest dream or wildest imagination to say that no, the country things are not tough in Liberia. Yes, things are tough. Times are hard, and it's not only to Liberia. It's not only unique in Liberia. It's all around the world. Shato, you just came a few months ago, but we who been here, like brother Gods, I think been here almost I think 30 years. Other people been here 20, 40, 50 years. But the fact of the matter is the economy is bad or things that used to be cheaper yesterday, today is not cheap anymore. So you cannot blame we are for the economic crisis across the world. I'm saying that Weir is doing his best to improve uh, and to make the living standard and living condition better. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that all is roses. Yes, we all know that our family call us, ask us for help. Yes, we know that, but it's not unique to we are. It happens every time. We were in Liberia. We were in Liberia. We wish other people to help us too. So to just demonize we are, to just reduce the we are government to nothing, I disagree. We can point to the faults in the government. Yes, there are a lot of faults in the government, but we can also point to the good things. There are a lot of good things happening as well. And what I'm saying from what we have done for the past almost 5 years, it's setting on the path of winning 2023 because there are a lot of tangibles to show comparing to people who've been there for 12 years. You Shelton, you support Joseph Boaka. Boaka he sat there as a vice president. He sat there as a vice president and he saw all the wrong things. He kept his mouth shut. And he said, Boaka, he said to us that he was always one person that Eddie used to listen to. Anytime, any decision before they made, Eddie must get his idea. Eddie must get his opinion. So he sat there, all the wrong things happening on his watch. He didn't say nothing. After he became a senior brother of the UP, he came and told us, oh, We scorn our resources, we scorn the opportunity. You think I should take Brother serious? But we are 5 years. We got a lot to show. We have got a lot to show. And I also always tell people I'm speaking to the fact which is at hand. We can do everything in 5 year time, but he has done a lot. A lot. I call it miracle. Because you saw COVID. Then you see the Ukraine and Russia war. You see the Ukraine and Russia war. Everything that is happening. Yeah, there have been some lapses. There have been some wrong things happening in the government. When I say the government is free of corruption, when I say the government is free of faults, but the fact of the matter is that they are doing everything in their power to improve the life of the Liberian people. And there have been a lot of Liberians' lives that have been improved on this regime. More need to be done. But that's what we're saying. When you give we have power next year, he will be able to utilize the 12 years in the best interest of the Liberian people. So I'm a journalist, but we journalists, we are trained to speak to the facts, and I'm speaking to the facts. I want to say thank you. Thanks for everybody for joining the platform, and I want to say, Mr. Akwe, we appreciate you, and we hope that you will always be here so that we can keep this going in the best interest of our people, or for the better good of our people.
Yeah, Dakpannah, thank you very much. And that was Dakpannah. He is saying directly that there are lapses and all is not rosy, and that all definitely will not be rosy at the time. It's going to take time. It's just better to wait and see, and that we should give Weah another time. Kanan technically is going to disagree. Mr. Kanan, talk to us, man.
You always disagree.
Saying that he's a journalist, but what he's doing here tonight, he's taking a side. That is clear. He's taking a side, so that we're not gonna go there with him. But here is the issue, though. yeah, politician, whatever he is. But let's be very serious for a bit, right?
Yeah.
Our country is in a bad shape. We agree that all over the world today, countries are struggling with their economies, right? We talked about the COVID, we talked about the war in Ukraine. We agree. But what serious governments are doing around the world, we'll continue to say this. They're struggling to maintain or create, avenues where there are people, will continue to at least survive, not focusing on the government, but for example, the private sectors, right? We always, talk about America. What makes this country great that my brother Sheton said today? The ability, the government's ability to encourage investors to create jobs in the private sector.
Yeah.
And this is what's lacking in Liberia. Number one, they have failed to create a secure environment that will encourage investors to come and bring their businesses. To have a business in Liberia, to even get a business license, you got to go through here. You bring some more money in Liberia to establish a little business. You got to bribe people before you even get what you need to get as documents. The little capital you get is gone. They have not been able to encourage people to, to bring businesses back home. This is what we're talking about. So again, President Weah came with the mantra of change. What the previous governments, going back to Willie Tobo, didn't do. Our expectation was for President Weah to start from there and move this country forward. But instead, nothing. So folks will come here and will criticize the government and get in their feelings and get angry while we criticize him. We will continue to criticize folks. We will do that until the real change comes to Liberia. And tonight, I will say this before I take my leave.
Yep.
We have the individual who has the ability, the training, the connections, the vision to change this country. Alex Cummings. You may not like
Mama was stuck during the video.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is my closing.
Yeah, you supporting we are the man right to the man.
This is
The
my
man put
closing.
in here, killing it. Yeah.
This is my closing.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Alex Coming is the best alternative to move our country forward. You would describe him any kind of way you want to describe him, but if we as a people, we want change, that's the direction we'll look in. And that's why some of us coming in to encourage our people, to speak to our people, to look at Cummings and forget and take off their, this tribal sentiment, this partisan sentiment, and put on their nationalistic cap on their head. And look at this guy's vision. Look at his past, where he came from, what he's accomplished, what he's done, his track record. Look at them and give him a chance. Yesterday, we voted for President Weah just because we loved him, because we felt that he put Liberia out there on the map without us asking him hard questions, without he telling us his platform, his manifesto, what really he was going to do for this country, do for us. We didn't ask him all of those things. We only looked at him, President Weah, God sent, a country giant. But we'll get him the country. Where are we today? But when you look at Mr. Cummings, you can see his track record, what he's done, what he's capable of doing, where he came from. So what are we waiting for, folks?
So that's it. What are we waiting for?
You have it right in your hands. 2023.
Yeah.
The boy's in your coat.
Yeah.
Either choose where we are today. If you think, brother James, one more second. If you believe within yourself, your children, your family, your wife, the life you're living today in Liberia, in Soniwen, in Bopley, in Newcroton, if that's the way you think you were born to live, to continuously live in Zira with your family day breaks, you can't even find food for your children, and you think you are living a normal life, it's left with you. But if you think things can change for the better, forget about this too much love for an individual. Give the country to Alex Cummings, and the real change will come to your doorsteps. I rest my case for the night.
So that's it. If you really want real change to come to the country, it's better to surrender everything to Alexander Benedict Cummings of the Alternative National Congress, adding sugar and creaming his ice cream there, and of Alexander Cummings. And I know and Dakpannah will want to chip in, but no, Dakpannah does not have the time anymore. The only person now who has the time partly, who will be adding some sugar to George Weah, will have to be Gus Coleman, and Coleman is going to send us home. Mr. Coleman, it's over to you.
Well, I'm going to throw a little bit of Gary, Mr. saying the man Gary real quick.
Okay.
My brother, you know what's amazing is I'm one of those that truly believe that Mr. Cummings is a well-accomplished man.
Okay.
But I have also now come to realize that Mr. Cummings' accomplishments may be all attributed to the system that we have here. Because again, Mr. Cummings, with all of his successes, his resources that he has, if Liberia problem truly is for a leader that is willing to make the change, that is willing to not compromise, Mr. Cummings isn't proving that to us. It started the last time, and then everybody thought he learned from it. Here we are again. Again, my brother, if Gus Coleman had even $1 million, there's so much I could do to become a president in that country without compromising myself. And me, I believe Mr. Cummings is one of the wealthiest Liberians ever. But Mr. Cummings is now willing to live by principle. I don't think he's willing to live by principle. And we can tell by some of the actions that are happening. When you say it, they say, oh, CDC had those people. But again, change means you have to go the hardest way possible. It might be the longest route, but the only route, the only thing that anybody like me can follow Mr. Cummings for is He has nothing to lose. He has no reason to even go back to Liberia because he's already successful. And if you're that successful, you should be willing to tell the Liberian filth politicians, I'm not working with you. I am not dealing with you. I am going to go to every village, every town, every school, and let them know how you can succeed in life. You can succeed by having good schools. You can succeed by having opportunities and all of those things. But instead, what has Mr. Cummings done? He hired all these people around him. They're doing very well. The issues, y'all say, even you're tired. The people over there, we have people like the people from Jetty feeding poor people in Liberia today. If I had that much money, you have a Cummings Foundation. You know what that means? That's philanthropy, right? Or philanthropists that also want to be a politician. It's not really doing that other job too, the philanthropy job. That right there is the reason why some people will say, my man, you believe Mr. Cummings, you praise him, but you can't support him. I would stick with the, what is it? I would stick with the whatever I know.
The devil you know, then enjoy you see.
Devil I know, to go follow another one, an angel that hasn't proven that they are an angel. And that's my biggest disappointment. I'll be honest with you, my brother. For us to have hope in somebody like that, that does not need Liberia to succeed, but that's the way he's going, you know. And then I'm gonna mention one more thing with you just to close. You said today to start business, you have to bribe people. Again, remember what I told you about Liberia Foundation? It's always been Liberia is the only place, my brother, that you that are going to do the business. The people want to make you broke before you even start the business. You have no chance at profit. They want you to give them 20% of almost everything you're doing before you even start. How can you get in business like that? So again, Liberians, thank you for listening to us. And I really want to reach out to all of you guys. I think this was a really good discussion. I told Dakpannah, we need to have viable conversation. We need to differentiate ourselves. We need to start just throwing mud here and there. And I really appreciate how we continue to do these things. Lofa will tell you the same thing. When I go on his platform, that's what I keep saying. Okay, thank you. Have a great night.
Okay, Merry so Christmas. I mean, that's how we go home. That's how we go home tonight on the Dakpannah Show. I mean, Liberia definitely is the common denominator we all have. The best we can do is to see how well we can all contribute positively towards sustained economic growth and national development. In few months or a year from now, Liberians again will be going to the polls in line with Article 84 of the Liberian Constitution to decide who leads the country. Again, it is Liberians who will be deciding the destiny of the country. Whether we are asking for a second term. Alexander Cummings wants to be the next president. Barkai also wants to become the next president. So whoever the Liberian people definitely decide on will be sitting at the helm of power and will be going at the executive mansion. It is only Liberians who will decide the course of action and how the nation will definitely move along. So fellow Liberians, this is the Dakpannah Show. We will always create awareness and speak to conscious-minded individuals right out there. We will talk, and you definitely will have to make the decision. You heard the likes of Conan, you have Gus, you heard Shelton Duo from Liberia, and you heard, the big man himself, Dakpannah. So my name is James Dakwe. That's how I go home right now. I'll see you tomorrow, partly at another time on the Dakpannah Show. Have a great and wonderful time. I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye for now. Dakpannah, put music on me, man.
Good night, gentlemen.
Yeah, good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shut up.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Boy, James is meeting you. God,
yeah.
my man.
Good night.
Oh, come let us adore. Oh, come let us angels singing exaltation. Oh, sing, holy citizens of heaven above. Lord,